så går vi... He's a dead man!
Is he?
Yeah, he dead. I mean, he died, yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did.
Scappadoodle-doo.
Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah. So welcome back to the
Sketchbook Heroes.
episode 60-something.
66, I think.
66!
66.
Awesome. Yeah, so welcome back, guys. Sketchbook Heroes podcast is brought to you by me and Robert.
Yes, it is. But also in collaboration with...
Sketchbook Heroes is brought to you in collaboration with 21 Draw, the best place to learn about character design, environment design, and other cool shit. They also have awesome how to draw books and other stuff we can't remember. So check them out at 20-draw.com.
21-draw.com.
What he said. Also, they have an awesome Instagram.
Yes,
you should
they
check
do.
that out. They have like daily little like art nuggets of gold.
Snippets, as we say.
And sometimes they post our stuff and then...
Yeah. Do they?
No.
Yeah.
Listen to us, Mr. Chris.
Yes.
Yes.
So what are we doing today, dude?
Okay, today I'm going to be sharing some of my...
Who cares? I don't give a shit. No, I'm kidding. Aww, little bubby.
We should have like, oh, like, like a sitcom audience.
Actually, we should.
No, we shouldn't.
I'll try to
never
find one.
have that in my podcast.
Oh.
Everything.
Yes. No, sorry. I interrupted you. You were saying something.
No, so I'm going to talk about being a game artist and the industry, at least that I've worked in. And yeah, talk about like a normal day at work.
Awesome.
That I find super boring to talk about, like just like you did.
Exactly.
But it might be something that someone out there is striving for. And yeah, why not talk about it?
Fuck yeah.
Your life is only boring to you most of the time, unless you're a super boring person.
My life is fucking boring. So yeah.
That's what I think as well.
Yeah.
Like, but that's because it's my life, and I'm
it's
living
your
every part.
life, and it's so boring. Whoa. That's not... We're breaking eardrums.
All right.
So
with that said,
hey,
Smurf
Jinx.
Hey, Smurf.
Smurf. Shield squat.
Okay, moving on.
Moving on. Let's go.
Artists, world unite. Step out of your comfort zone into the danger zone.
They loved 80s cartoons, even with beards and tattoos. You know they haven't changed at all. Filling sketchbooks every night, getting better with each line. Sketchbook Heroes, imagination burning. Sketchbook Heroes, Sketchbook Heroes, pick up the Sketchbook Heroes. They don't seem to have any line. Sketchbook Heroes.
And we're back.
And we're back. In the same sentence.
So how you been, man?
It's been really good, man.
Yeah.
I'm trying to wrap up October. I'm a bit behind. That last event week really took like everything I had.
It did. It felt like after that event, everything got sort of off track a bit.
Yeah, dude.
Same from I'm like.
Or like the
just
week before, it was
catching
like
up.
stressful.
Yeah, and then the event happened,
the
and that
event.
was stressful. And then we were dead from the event,
Oh,
so
shit,
everything
yeah.
got pushed a bit, or for me at least.
Yeah.
And just been trying to play catch up, I guess. From,
This week is the first, like today
Yeah.
is the first, or like maybe yesterday, Sunday, was the first day where I felt like a human being again. Like I slept, I think I've slept like 3 days in a row. I've slept early enough to get at least like 7-8 hours.
So what time do you go to bed then? It's got to be like
depends.
9 or 10 o'clock.
Yeah, exactly that. Because then my kids wake me up at
yeah.
too early. So about that, I think the latest I've gone to bed was 11:30.
Dude, you're like a fucking retiree.
Exactly
doing?
that. That time I was trying to stay up, but I was just falling asleep, and I dropped my phone on my face, like you do when you're...
Yeah, you get too eager when you try to like something and you throw your phone in your face. Yeah.
Half sleeping. Oh, man. That is such a surprise every time. Like,
yeah, I'm up.
Yeah, exactly. What?
Awesome.
So, yeah, that was it. And also,
Nice.
Instagram really blew up. Like, my latest, like, day 28 and 9, I don't know what happened. The algorithm just like, high five, bro. And it never does that.
I saw
never
that.
high fives.
I didn't see the high five.
No. Neither did I. It was like an invisible high five. But 4,000 likes on the first image. And I was like, what? And then I post another one. And, you expect like the disappointment to happen because algorithm only loves you so much.
You can only win the lottery once. Right?
And then I just like, it goes bananas. Like that post gets like the first hour, like 600 likes. I was like, what?
That's
It didn't get any comments though.
That's so weird.
That is so weird. Because I was thinking like the engagement and everything drove the other post.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that one got, like within the first hour, I think I had like 35 comments, 36. I was like, that is good. The second one didn't have shit. It just flew. Good. Yeah, it flew up the top. I checked the big hashtags. Like, I think I was on Sketch. I was at the top. And Inktober, top. Inktober 2019, top.
Damn.
Those aren't that big, but they're big enough. I was checking Ink. I was at the top.
Holy shit.
Ink, it has like 120 million, or if not more. And I was at the top. And so like, for the time that I was there, it accumulated at least 4,000 likes. So
fuck yeah.
I'm happy. It's probably more now, but it's slowed down like a lot. But it's still, I was just
4,
happy. Yeah, it's still 4,000 for 2 posts, or like 4,000 each. So super happy.
So you're doing something right for sure.
Yeah. So out of like so many drawings, 2 of them really worked for some reason. And I don't understand because I've been copying this hashtags, everything is the same. Nothing has changed. It's just the same shit, basically. And this time they did well.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I have 2 more to draw, and then I'm going to call it on Link for a while. Or I won't. I'll just try to take it to the next level with a bit of color or something.
Yeah. No, because we were just flipping through your book before we did this.
The burger place.
And it looks so good. It like the complete book and everything.
So bad. It looks so good.
I really wish that it was something that I could buy and get, like, because it was just such an inspirational thing to flip through.
Shucks, man.
No, it's really impressive what you've done.
I'm game for you too.
Yeah,
I'm game
always.
for you too.
But no, like I said, even the ones that you sort of messed up within quotation marks, like they look awesome, and you just get that full story.
Mm-hmm.
And I think maybe it's because I know how hard it is to do in Inktober.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so I know the amount of effort it's taken you to do all of that stuff. But it's so concise, and like you just get the same story in the whole thing. Like, it's so complete in a way. I don't know how to explain it without geeking out too much. But it's beautiful. Like,
thanks, man.
Yeah.
I really, really. I don't know what to say.
But yeah, so
Thanks.
Inspirational. So I want to do more stuff because you do stuff. This is how it works. This is why we know each other and have been the best of buddies since forever. Because this is what we do.
Yeah. Like, since we started drawing as kids, like episode 10 from Zeros to Sketchbook Heroes.
You
one
get
of the most boring episodes, in my opinion, because we talk about ourselves. And how we got to where we are. but people seem to like that episode for some reason.
Yeah.
But you sort of get the backstory of why we are so in tune, I guess.
Yeah, I think so. And it's funny, like, a lot of people seem to think we are actually broers.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
Because
like,
I got
you should
that
talk
comment.
to your brother, and I'm like, I don't talk to my brother. And I'm like, because I don't have that, like, I don't have that connection with my actual brother.
No.
And we don't talk. So I was like, what, my brother? I'm like, Robert, for the podcast, my buddy, my man, my brother.
Yeah,
that brother. My real brother.
Yeah, exactly.
In my opinion.
Yeah, same. Well, I don't have a brother, but
but
I have you.
Yeah, exactly.
Close enough. But yeah, okay, that was a little bit off topic, and let's dive
the
into topic.
Yeah, okay. So,
So,
oh shit, yeah, we already did the intro.
Yeah, so now
This
it's time
feels
for
like
you to become super egotistical and just start touching yourself, I guess.
Okay, my name is Ilias Testicles,
Hola.
and I will, and I am apparently Mexican. We love you, Mexicans.
Yeah, we do.
Your food is awesome.
Yes.
All your snacks. No,
Shout out to Mexifunk.
Mexican.
No, check out his stuff if you
Yeah,
haven't.
he's fucking awesome.
He is the wizard
Damn.
of vectors.
I don't even understand that. I saw his speed paints. I was like, okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
You can also do vectors like that.
apparently.
Shit, that light is super bright. So, with that said, no.
Yeah.
Okay, so I worked for the past 7 years. I worked as a game artist on a little game called Candy Crush.
What's that?
I don't know. Ask your mom.
It sounds sweet.
Isn't that how it works?
Yeah,
You
I think
ask
so.
your mom, and she's like, I love it. Apparently, my mom is also Mexican, which makes sense in this whole story.
Yeah, well, close enough.
It's close enough. Yeah, Greeks, Mexicans, who cares?
Yeah, you all look
Foreigner.
alike.
We're all foreigners. We all look alike. So I got in. I was working as just a quick recap.
Mm-hmm.
I used to work as a personal trainer / stuntman / illustrator, and one of my clients recommended me to apply for a job in the gaming industry, and I was like, no.
Like, that's not me, or
No,
like,
I
why,
just
why?
like I didn't know because the thing is, pre-King, I didn't really take drawing as seriously as I do.
No, you were more physical. Like,
Yeah, exactly
it was
that.
the,
I was
the
like,
training and the stunt
the
stuff.
training, and I really wanted to do that, but the drawing was happening, but I wasn't as serious as you'd think
So,
about it.
I've always wondered why you got into the whole PT thing.
Injuries.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah,
because that's
just
what
to
that's
cure
what I
myself.
thought.
Yeah,
but-
just to cure myself rather than having to ask people. Because my experience with working out since I was like 12 or 11, the biggest hurdle to overcome was injuries.
yeah,
Like every time you injure yourself, sure, the healing was better back then.
yeah.
But the older I got,
The
and
slower it got.
The slower
Yeah.
it got, I guess, or I just like did more crazy shit.
Yeah, Probably.
One of those two. And I was thinking, like, how can I learn more so that I can mitigate some of these issues?
Mm-hmm.
And over time, I managed to, like, now I could do everything I couldn't do back then because my injuries kept coming back. And I didn't understand why. So I did that thing.
Cool.
And then I worked with it for a while. I'd never had the ambition to work with it.
No.
Because it's fun, but it's, you have to like hunt clients all the time, which is like freelance.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
But I was working in-house still, but you still have to get your own clients, which
Oh,
is
yeah.
like
Yeah.
tedious and boring, and your work hours get kind of shifty.
But did you manage to make that work enough to live off of it?
1 year?
Yeah?
So yeah, that was
Okay.
1 year of doing that.
So you didn't, because I was.
Yeah, I was mostly doing that. I
Yeah.
was just doing that. But my income could vary from like, getting like 8,000 1 month and getting closer to 20 another,
Oh,
like-
okay.
So it was like a mixed bag every
Yeah.
month. Like you didn't know what you were going to get. I covered rent-ish.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I mean, that's all you need, really.
Yeah, but I wasn't like, it was stressful.
Yeah. That's all you need, really.
Stress.
Stress.
Yeah, so eventually I applied to this company, King, and I went to the interview without knowing what the company was because I didn't hear what he said on the phone. So I just got there, went up the stairs, I was like, this place. Yes, I know King because I applied here 3 months ago and I got the job. But the thing about these companies are, I think a lot of these companies that have like some type of foreign culture in them, where ours is like based in London and I guess someone from the US. We didn't have US back then maybe, but the how they hire people becomes very complicated.
Oh, okay.
They use recruiters, they use this.
Oh,
When
right.
I started, they didn't have recruiters.
Oh, so it was a direct
Yeah, it was
hire.
HR to like the people I was going to work with.
Yeah.
So I had 2 interviews where I met the the people I talked to 3 people in one room.
Mm-hmm.
Nicholas, and and
Nicholas.
Nicholas. No, it was like 2 Nicholases and Kiki, I think.
Nicholases.
Yeah, Nicholases.
Yeah.
Yes, I talked to them first, and that was the first interview. And then I had a second one with another guy, just a single guy, like a producer type character. And a producer is pretty much someone that has like the overview over a team and what they do,
Okay.
like within part of the. I guess it can be different in different companies. But,
Yeah.
But they're like product owners, I guess. They have like the oversight.
I just thought they were the people that sort of threw in the money, and then if something felt wrong, they just said, change that, please.
No. They just like, usually the team itself, like the core team, does the work that is like I can break it down.
But we're gonna
Jumping
get
ahead.
to
Yeah, we're jumping ahead now.
Because then we obviously I want to know, like, from waking up to going home and what that is.
Okay, so I got the job. Okay,
Yep,
we'll
yep.
just skip that. You talk to people, you make a good, lasting impression. They hire you eventually.
Social skills.
Social skills, whoop, and
Yeah.
also a terrible portfolio. It really helps.
Fantastic.
I guess I was lucky when I got in because I don't know why people were finding my blog, people were finding my terrible Instagram.
But
back
you've
then.
always been good with social media. That's always
I
been.
don't know why. Like I was always late on the ball, but
Yeah.
I managed to play it at least a little.
I think it's because you understand that type of language in a way that I don't. You just
Yeah,
see. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know either.
And I'm because the thing is, I'm not very good at it apparently. Because but I play the things that I succeed in is that I play what I have well.
Yeah.
I guess you could say that. Like I don't have a big following, but I have a good small following.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
You can say. So the thing is, when I got the job, the first thing that hit me, they were like, "Oh yeah, well, chill out, like install your programs, blah blah blah," and then work started coming in, and it's just like, "Oh, you could draw this background, and you do that, that's fine."
Yeah.
But then as soon as like the tasks
Start piling up.
and I was starting to feel like an imposter syndrome.
Oh, yeah.
Because I've never worked in this type of production.
Mm-hmm.
So I had no idea how fast I should be doing things, how,
I mean, even
planning your work.
Yeah.
Planning your work. Like, it's not the same. I was drawing in Illustrator, and I was doing things in a way that wasn't the fastest. And I wasn't understanding how people could be so fucking fast. But that feeling came a little later, though, because in the beginning, it was just me and Mario. And Mario is the guy that sings our, like...
the intro speech
speech thing.
that you just
from
heard.
the intro, And it was just him and me. He knew Photoshop, enough. And I knew Photoshop and Illustrator enough. But Photoshop I knew. But Illustrator, so-and-so, I could do stuff in it, yeah.
You could fake it.
Yeah, I could pretty much
Yeah.
that. Like, the stuff I made was so crude.
Mm.
And they put me in a project. So our team was 2 artists. I think we were like 4 developers and 1 technical artist.
So what's the difference between an artist and a developer then?
Well, a developer just writes the code
Okay.
that everything is sort of like,
Just to
that's how the game works. Like they set the base. And then when you have one type of engine to get stuff in, our engine was XMLs. We didn't have an engine really. Like everything was code based. Like you had to do everything in code, even as artists.
Oh, really?
Had to learn XMLs, yeah.
But that's awesome, though.
It was in a way, and it wasn't in a way, because it made everything more tedious to implement. But what we used to do was, so you have this, like, the core team. We had 1 technical artist, 2 artists, and the developers. And we used to work back to back.
Okay.
So that's how we used to work. Then we had a producer and a manager. So the manager just, I don't remember how, the company format has changed a bit over time.
Mm.
But the producer sort of, he has like the overview of what we do in our team and how we play with like other parts of the team.
Okay.
In the beginning, there was just like, there was 2 candy teams. It was the Facebook one and the mobile one where I started. And the artists, I guess for the artwork, we had to talk to the to the Facebook side
All right.
and sort of sync with them. But nobody cared. The game hadn't been released. Nobody really gave a shit. We didn't expect it to be anything like major. So we just like kept doing the work. They were like, oh yeah, gave us some like shitty advice. We went back to our side, did our thing, didn't give a shit about their advice. And because nobody like everyone said like, oh, we just expected to make this, move on, like everything else.
Of course.
And yeah, we released the game and it becomes this major hit that no one's expecting. Tino comes into the room, which was our numbers guy. I don't know what the fuck he was. Like, other than that, I have no idea what he did. And he was just like, guys, we hit like 3 million players who were like, oh my God, 3 million. And we started lower than that even. Like, it was like 500, like in the first la la la. And you're like, yeah. And then at some point he came in, he's like, guys, 19.5 million, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, Tino, you can just stop. You don't understand. Like, beyond this, it was like unique players. It wasn't, like the same players coming back. So it was like, on top of that, we have 19, blah, 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 blah. So you're like, what?
So did you notice like the huge dynamic shift when that happened?
Yes, because now production was more important. Everything was more important. And they merged Facebook because on the mobile side, we were doing our thing, which was the side that was making the money.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That was where, like, the mobile, when that hit, everyone could bring Candy Crush on their phones.
Yeah.
Because Candy Crush had been a thing a little before I started as well on Facebook, like a small game that was doing okay.
Okay.
And then when we hit it with the mobile version that we made, that went, like, insane. Like, I can't explain. Like, mobile games and apps weren't as big back then. So, when this game hit, the only other hit was like Angry Birds, I think.
Yeah.
And
I remember.
Yeah.
It became like a cultural phenomenon.
Yeah, it was insane. And so was the pressure after that.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Because they merged the Facebook and just to try and bring them together because they were so different. Like, you played the mobile version and you were like, what the fuck is this Facebook thing?
Mm-hmm.
And it took a long time to sort of like make it one.
Yeah.
But then again, now that we merged them, now you have two teams that need to work together, and somehow we need to implement 2 games.
Damn.
Like 2 versions of that game. And everyone was so fast. Like, I was like, how are they doing this so fast? And, imposter syndrome kicks in for real. I think, my daughter, she was sleeping so bad, like the first 3 years of her life. And this is, I got hired. Yeah, she was 2 years old when I was working there, and she wasn't sleeping, and I wasn't sleeping. And later on, my son comes along as well, so I am totally fucked up. Like, I can't learn new things because I'm so tired.
Yeah.
And she just started sleeping, and then he came along. So this is like both at the same time.
Perfect.
So I'm not able to sleep, so I'm having this like people are talking to me, and I just can't, like, my brain does not register anymore what they're saying. I am so tired.
That's crazy.
And I've already been at the company now for 2 years, I think. But everything changes. Yeah. And we're working differently. And it was all just a struggle for me because I couldn't, like, understand. And no one had the time to sort of show you what needed to be done.
No. And I guess they kind of expected that everybody knew what they were doing at that point.
I think so. But it was harder for me coming over to the Facebook or like melding our teams because we work differently in our team. So that was totally new, and we were animating in Flash, shit I didn't have a clue about. And, everything was a struggle, and no one felt like they had the time to show me. And I think I asked someone, and they were so rude about it.
Really?
Yeah, just like stressed, like they weren't rude to me specifically like that. But they were like, oh, we'll just do this and this. And then, like you're like, oh, wow, that is a great thing.
Oh, okay.
Now I know how to do it, asshole. No, but it didn't work for me. Like, and I couldn't take shit in as well. So I needed, like do like basic shit.
Yeah, like keep it slow.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Please tell me 15 times.
And there wasn't, like, when I left the company at the end there was, documentation and stuff you could go to when you
Oh, so you had
weren't
like
sure.
a written guide?
Yeah,
Okay.
it was like a tutorial. Like
All
you
right.
could come in and sort of figure it out eventually.
Oh, nice.
So if you already knew some, that really helped.
Yeah.
So the thing is, you'd wake up in the morning just to like walk you through a normal day.
Yeah.
Because eventually I got my shit together. Because there was this like the dark age, I call it, where
dark
no, but a couple of key people left the team, and no one knew what the fuck we were doing.
Really?
Yeah, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna learn everything there is to learn about making this, like, to make this work. So I started working, like 12, 14 hours a day,
Holy shit.
doing my work, doing everyone else's work. And that earned me like a senior position eventually.
Nice.
Because at first I was performing so badly because I was just like exhausted by not sleeping. But once I took like 4 months off, I think. And when I was only like hanging out with my daughter and my son. And once I came back, like I'd been sleeping as much as you could possibly sleep.
Yeah.
Hadn't been like stressing over work or anything. So when I come back, I'm on fire. And I was like, yes.
Awesome. Good
And
to go.
like some key people quit about the time I came back, I think. And I was like, okay, we could do this, 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 and this. And then I started working these like super long shifts. And I'm starting to kick ass. Like when you own something, like I don't know how any of this works, but I'm going to learn all of it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to fucking be a boss. I started talking to everyone. I was like, how do you do this? What is this thing? How do I do this? Why doesn't this work? How do I solve this problem? And then I started just like learning everything.
So you were hungry coming back and really like
Yeah.
eager to learn it.
Exactly, because
How was
I don't know. I was mental. Like, I don't know what drove me to it. Because the thing was that no one else was doing it.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to fall behind because we had like a quota of, like that we said, like, this is what we can produce. And we weren't producing it.
Oh, okay. So you were falling behind.
Exactly.
All right.
And I was like, okay, so what are the reasons we're doing this? Okay, because the people don't know this, they don't know this, blah, 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 blah. And then you just solve it. You talk to people. There's people at the company that know parts of this shit.
Yeah.
But you need someone to know all of it.
Yeah.
So I made it my job, my sole purpose to know all of it. And I
Awesome.
learned all of it.
That's great.
But no one else was helping me. That's the problem I
Fuck.
had. Like, except the people that were teaching me the bits.
Yeah.
But once I got all the bits together, I started pulling these long shifts to make it work. And I was like, why aren't people, like, people weren't committing their stuff. So when you leave work, I'll break that down as well. Before you leave work, though, you need to commit everything you've done so that the next person that'll do it, let's say we have a release tomorrow
Yeah.
and you worked on something that affects my work. Before you leave that day, you need to commit it to our server.
Is it like submitting it? Or?
Yeah, and you submit it to the server. You add it to the server, like a Dropbox, pretty much.
Yeah.
But it's not a Dropbox. It's like a more advanced system.
Yeah.
But I can access it when you put it there.
Okay.
So if you're sick, I can continue the work
Because it's
seamlessly.
it's
yeah.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's there.
Perfect.
But if you're sick and you have it on your local computer, you fuck me and you fuck the rest of the team.
Of course.
And that's something I'm going to get into later as well. It's super tricky to talk about your own work now.
Yeah,
that
it
I-
is.
It's super complicated now.
And
that
it's
I-
like, so derailing, but yeah, when you start talking about it, you start thinking about stuff like you come,
Yeah.
you start remembering things, and then something that could have taken you, like me, the last episode,
Yeah.
5 minutes to explain becomes 3 hours.
Yeah, exactly. That episode got long.
But yeah, but please continue. This is very
Yeah.
interesting.
Okay, so I learned everything there was to learn, but I was starting to also burn out. Like
Of
you
course.
burn on one end, and then the
Exactly.
other end starts burning as well, catching
Yeah.
up to the other side, and you're just like, fuck.
And yeah,
Yeah,
you got
so-
nothing left.
Exactly. So that was really stressing me out. Then Matthias left the team as well. Like, I think Matthias left just before this.
Oh, okay.
So I asked him all the questions I could as well, just like as he changed teams. Because he was our lead for a while.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
This is Matthias Strauss.
Yeah,
Yep.
Matthias Draws. No, Matthias Draws.
What?
Is it that what it's called? Matthias Andersson Draws or something. Ah, fuck it. Matthias
it.
Andersson Art.
Yeah, so
Something. Something like
Matthias,
that. Matthias.
the animation
Uh,
guru.
Yeah, exactly. That made our Sketchbook Heroes animations, like the washing machine and some other
the breakdancing
cool,
me
breakdancing
and all of
yeah,
that shit.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that is the Matthias.
Still awesome. I love
Mattias Andersson draws. But yeah.
it. So he left.
So exactly. That's I think that's the point where I start learning everything.
Oh, so he was sort of the...
Yeah, he was the
spark.
last. I think he was the last part of the glue that held it together.
Yeah.
And because there had been a lot of changes. We had lost the previous boss. We lost some people. Like on and off. And the knowledge was spread thin. And I just came back from parental leave, so everything was a bit unfresh as well for me.
Yeah.
But like I said, I learned everything, and then we hired this girl called Sandra. So I'm just like, oh, this girl seems awesome, because we clicked immediately. And she was from Germany. No, just kidding. She's from the Netherlands, but I always called her German. She loved it. You understand if you're from the Netherlands. They don't like to be called Germans, apparently. But I saw like an eagerness in her eyes, and I was like, "This is my protege. Like I'm gonna just like teach this girl everything." And she was fucking awesome because she was, holy shit. She did like all that I did, and then some. Like,
oh really?
Yeah, because I was like, "You're gonna be with me, and you're gonna do all of this work that I do. I will teach you." All of it, and I will disregard. I will pretend no one else exists. It's you, me, and these million tasks. So I teach her everything I have been learning the past 6 months.
Holy shit!
And I just have her like do this one, do this one, do this one. I just like the same work, the same work, the same work until she knew it like the back of her hand. So now we were two fucking maniacs doing the same work.
Awesome.
And now we could spread it. Like imagine now that we're two. We can start like one teaches someone else.
Exactly.
While
the other one.
Yeah, and the same thing.
Yeah.
I was like, no. They don't do anything else. They just do episodes. They just keep implementing. So everyone draws their own shit.
Yeah.
But then they hand it to this person to put it in the game.
Oh, right.
So they get to learn all of that. Like there's no, like they don't get to rest. Everyone got to implement like 5 episodes in a row.
Oh, sweet.
Just so they wouldn't have like, when they were done, they would be like, oh, I know this. I was like, I know you know this because I fucking drilled you all. So that's how I eventually got everyone to know everything. And we always had one person learning during the thing. Because I think there were like 4 or 5 artists that didn't know shit.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They knew how to draw their shit. And then they wouldn't commit it or they would leave before. Like it was just too slow. Because there were too many unanswered questions on how to do things. So once we got past that team, dude, became so effective that by the time I left, we could have monkeys do our jobs. Like we simplified it so much over the years, and that wasn't just because of me. It was just like a team thing.
Yeah.
Like everyone felt responsibility towards each other, which is one of the biggest things working in this industry is that if you care for the people that you work with, like within your team, and you work as a unit. So if someone is sick, I was always like, oh, do you feel like, is it okay if I grab your episode and just finish it up for you? Because I saw that you were done basically with most of it. Mm-hmm. Tell me what's not done or what you want me to add, and I'll just finish it. Like if there was artwork left, or they were like, no, I'll be back tomorrow. I'll do it. It's fine. But if they were sick like several days, you wouldn't let them come back and stress over that episode.
All right.
You'd just pick it up. Like
nice.
You add like the 5 assets that were missing and then just ship it.
Easy.
And I think that sort of culture made it so hard to quit King.
Oh, okay.
Because King for me wasn't the same thing eventually.
Yeah.
Because imagine that willingness to solve every problem that pops up, but not getting appreciation for it. Like it got me the senior position. It made me manager, like to.
So this is something that I've always wanted to know, because you went from, you became manager.
Yeah.
And then you decided to go back or step down.
Yeah, exactly.
So
that was
what happened there, if you want to talk about that. Like
the thing is, I couldn't back then because I think we talked, like I was a bit burned out by the end of the podcast there. That was one of the reasons we quit.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, King had, like, there was a person hired there that I didn't, like.
You didn't click with, or like
it wasn't
didn't work well with?
No. The problem was that they were trying to help this person because everyone else was doing their job. Like, we taught them,
Yeah. Like
and
your system.
Yeah,
much.
my system of, like, binge doing.
Yeah.
because I felt that was the best way to get everyone on board, and I've done it to everyone. But there was one person, like after years of working there, like 2 years, still didn't deliver on their level, you know. And it was a junior position as well.
Oh, okay.
You can't be a junior for 2 years.
No.
Do the same work for 2 years and
That's insane.
And not deliver on time.
Exactly.
Because that's just like there's something wrong. So
yeah, that's you not giving a fuck, I think.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I thought. But it can also be just like a terrible way of working, and then you just like you don't know how to fix it. You're like in a rut, you know, like you just like keep doing it and it doesn't work out. And
maybe not asking for
help. And I wasn't
I guess.
that person's manager at the time, but there had been other managers, and they just like couldn't help her, and you didn't understand why. So I was like, I'll do it. Like I'm pretty like chummy with my team, so I'll just do it.
You're chummy with everybody.
Exactly. And this is the darkest shit ever, because when I get to this point, I get this person to try and help. And you're going to hear me go dark now because I'm not happy at all talking about this.
1 second, I need to pull out my keys.
From your butt?
Yes.
Yeah, so what happens is that this person now, I'm just like, I'm going to help you out. I've seen that you've struggled with work, and I think it's just about effectiveness. That's what I think, at least.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm just like, okay, we'll start like this. Because the person was a she. So she had a problem with, like, she would be drawing for a long time. You know, like, she could be drawing, because we have we should have really done this better. Or when I say we, I mean I should have done this better.
No, it's still very interesting.
Because the thing is, when we start a project, okay, we'll put a little pause on that incident. When we start work, for example, we're going to create an episode for Candy Crush. Mm-hmm. What happens is that we have a brainstorm as a team, and I used to ask them, like, what do you want to draw that isn't Candy Crush related? And we just brainstorm tons of ideas. If we could come up with names as well, we'd do that.
Cool.
And so everyone had, like, I want to draw Musketeers, or I want to draw, you know, like, epic fantasy, la la la, treasure hunters, and whatever the fuck people had in their minds. Mm-hmm. We'd write all that down. And if we had a story to add to it when we were sitting there, because this could be everything between like an hour to 4 hours, you know, like.
Yep.
And we'd just write it all down and then put it on a page. And then everyone could go there and like pick ideas that they loved.
Okay.
I even had like vague shit, like I want to draw a house on a cliffside. And I made it a teapot house on a cliffside. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
you just like, you make shit up. And you just had like, some ideas were super vague and some were really good. And the fun thing about the Candy Crush ideas, like we couldn't tell them eventually since we removed the animations. Like we really peeled back on that because people just wanted to play. They didn't want to see cutscenes.
Yeah, okay.
So, but some of the ideas that were super fun was like the Yeti was like burning everything he was trying to bake. And Tiffy was like, no, not a problem. And she comes in with like a spritzer or whatever the fuck it is and just like does like a glazing top on top of the burned, you know, like cake or cookies or whatever the fuck it was. So you'd see the burned bottom, but it was like a majestic cake on top, you know, just like, or like painted over them to make them look nice. Just like silly shit.
Yeah.
It was just like problem solution type of stories. So we all did that. And then we used to say like half a day of taking that idea and coming up like quick sketches.
Yeah, okay.
So you do a couple, then maybe talk to your like team, like, what do you think about this idea about the cake thing?
Yeah.
And you'd make a little like concept or couple. And they were like, I like the composition of this one with the characters in this one. And then you'd start working on it. Okay. But she'd paint like a digital, you know, like version of the thing with like paper cut outlines, you know, like too detailed. So she'd spend like 2-3 days painting an image
that you weren't gonna use.
No, because we were like, the composition isn't great. You can't see, like, you can't separate the colors. Like everything becomes like this blob of color. Yeah. And you've spent 3 days on a Photoshop, you know.
Yeah.
So and then you put it in, like, once you're done with the sketch, you do the vectors, and then you take the vectors into the engine that eventually came to be. That was called Fiction Factory for us, not Unity. Fiction Factory. So you added everything in 3D in that engine. So it was standing up like a board game, which was the main idea of that game.
Yeah.
So everything was like little like paper cutouts on a game board.
Yeah.
And you'd place them like that. And eventually you just like commit it, and you take your episode and merge it into a master branch. So we all worked in branches.
Okay.
Which is like you work on a server or like a file sharing server thing.
Yeah.
I can't explain that shit at all.
I think you're doing a great job though.
But we were all like, so once I was done with episode 200, I'd put my part into the master branch. It was called the master branch. Episode master, I think it was called even.
Awesome.
So you merge your episode, and then you take the next one, 201, merge into master. And we could do this. We didn't even have to do it in order.
Oh, because it's numbered.
It's modular. Yeah, it's
So, of
modular.
course.
So yeah. If an episode doesn't exist between the two,
It's just going to be an empty slot until
it's going to be
filled.
an empty, exactly
Okay.
that. But you can't play the game up to that point unless all this stuff.
Oh,
are there.
yeah, of
and then
course.
the level designers, which is another part of the team, I'll get to that as well, is they have to add the levels. Otherwise, none of that works.
Of course.
Like we can see the graphics, but they're not interactable.
No, yeah.
So that is the basic shit that we do.
Yeah.
Just to like dumb it down a bit. But this person was spending so much time on drawing or painting, and you're like, oh, I'm sorry, but this won't work because this, and you can't have 4 characters in there, like whatever the reasons.
Yeah. Plus you just wasted like 2.5 days doing it.
Exactly. And a production week, you have like the 1 week plus maybe a couple days on the next week. We work
get
in
it all
sprints
finished.
to get it all finished. And also you need to put it in the game.
And that's
And that
one
also
level. Like
That's one episode, yeah.
one
So
ep-
that's like
so it's
15 levels.
One episode a week, pretty much.
Yeah. Everyone makes an episode a week,
Wow.
basically. So you draw all the things that need to be done in the first week, and then you implement the second week and try to find bugs and shit. If like sometimes shit breaks, you need to find out why. So it might be on your part, it might be on someone else's part. You need to solve it. Like it doesn't matter who caused the problem. You need to find it and solve it.
Damn. How many episodes did you get up to before you left? Like,
Holy
do you remember?
Shit, like almost 5,000 episodes.
Oh,
5,000 levels. I don't know how much that is in episodes. Like that, if you like take that divided by 15, I think is about
Still
a lot of episodes. Yeah.
God
a
damn.
lot of episodes.
Just wanted to know.
Yeah, I don't know. Like at the point when I like just coming up with ideas was a miracle at that point. But I was thinking like, okay, your workflow is a bit shitty, so I'll just help you out. I was like, okay, here are these like tiny post-its for anyone that struggles, even in your own sketchbook. If you like struggle with making ideas happen, post-its, like the tiny ones, the super tiny ones, and you just draw like quick little sketches on them. So I told her like, okay, do a couple of compositions. The characters don't have to be readable. I said like make them like little ice creams, like like piggelines. I said. And we were just like, that's your characters. Just place a big piggeline and a small piggeline, like Tiffy left, big character right. Usually the other characters were bigger than the main one.
Yeah.
And I was just like, place them, and draw around them, like, and just like a hum of what you want.
Yeah.
Started doing that. Like the effectiveness of her work started increasing again because you weren't wasting time.
Nice.
And I was doing follow-ups and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that I was, like, as a manager, what I was always doing with people is that if there was something... Exactly.
Yeah.
What I was doing was that I was always asking them if I understood the situation correctly. So if they told me something, I'd tell it back to them.
Yeah, okay.
I was like, okay, so you're saying that this thing, that thing, like whatever the fuck the reasons were that the person was like, if it was about performance or if it was about their stress, whatever it was.
Yeah.
I always
Just
told it back
to
see if I could retell their story without changing it with my bullshit. You know what I mean? Because that's what you do. You tell a story and then you change shit without knowing it.
Yeah.
So I was always doing that. And then I went to my computer. I wrote an email with that same information and just like one last thing so I can have it written. It's a way to they confirm that we understand each other.
Yep.
And I was like, okay, this is what we talked about, and these are the ways that I'm gonna help you.
Mm-hmm.
These are the ways that you're struggling with or have been struggling with, and I sent it, and I always got like, oh yeah, that's exactly it. Maybe this could be like this. You know, they gave me like a correction if there was something that I misunderstood. I was like, oh yeah, that's way better, a better way of saying it.
Yeah.
So I changed that. I was like, check.
Nice.
And then I start, like, these rumors are starting. Or first, I just get, like, cold shoulders from people I've been talking to.
Okay.
I was like, what? Okay, that person didn't say hi. Maybe they just didn't hear me. And then, like, eventually, like, several more times, you know.
Yeah, you can definitely feel it. It's
Yeah,
like-
you feel
yeah.
it, like, the coldness of people. And I'm starting to see, like, it started going well, and now it's not going well anymore.
Okay.
And okay, so now I'm starting to hear rumors about things, and eventually someone says that this I heard afterwards though.
Okay.
After I quit King actually. But one friend was like, "Did you take her into a room and start screaming at her?" Because that's what this person told me. I was like, "What?" Like, I haven't fought with anyone at King for 7 years. What the fuck was that? Your stomach?
That was my stomach.
Cool shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, even his stomach is like surprised.
Yeah, that was it. That was
'cause
a genuine reaction.
I don't
Like,
remember
what?
who told me. I think it was my friend Cosmin. Like, he said, like, oh, did you, like, I heard that you screamed at her in a meeting room. I was like, that sounds nothing like me. I haven't had a fucking issue with anyone ever because I don't care enough. Like, you know, you don't have that, like, I don't care about, like, if someone has a problem about shit
You
and
talk
I don't
about it.
care, yeah, you talk about it and you don't make a thing out of
And
it.
you're not a
like-
screamer. Even if you're Greek, you're not a screamer.
Yeah, I'm not a screamer like that. No.
Yeah.
So I heard this afterwards though, but I started getting like little hints about, and eventually I just like it started getting more complicated and more shit like that, and like conflicts grew. She was spreading rumors about me around the office, about me and other people. So I had conflicts with other people that I've never had conflicts with.
What the fuck?
And that I even invited to our event now. It was just like everything started escalating and becoming super complicated. And I had talks with HR. I was like, this is not working. This person doesn't want to be helped. She's doing like super strange things, writing like messages about me. Because Andy Dominus, that has been on this podcast, saw this person like writing shit about me to other people. And like,
What the
because
fuck?
we were in a meeting room and he was like, it was a cramped room.
Yeah.
So when she was writing, he was right behind her.
Ah, so he could
because
see
he
what she
couldn't
was-
fit anywhere else,
Yeah.
and he saw everything. He was like, because he saw my name, so he started reading, and he
Oh,
was
yeah.
like, "Dude, the things she wrote about you," to another coworker.
What the fuck?
Yeah, exactly that. And I talked to, you know, like I come in the next. I reach out to this
To her?
other coworker, no, to the other coworker. This is my birthday, by the way. The
yeah.
day before my birthday.
Fantastic.
And I reach out to this artist. I can't sleep for shit. I'm super stressed. I think this
I remember
is
this
what,
time.
Yeah, this is the
This
super
was-
stressed.
Yeah, the
time.
dark ages.
The dark
Yes,
ages.
exactly.
Yeah, I was super stressed. I'm trying to help this person, and they're just like spreading shit about me, and I have to take the consequences for her not, you know, like being human.
But
you
this-
know, like
I mean-
I have to, I play by the rules.
Yeah,
You know, like simple rules, like be kind.
exactly.
And she's not playing by any rules, so she's really.
And that's, yeah, I mean, I can understand that you'd be going fucking nuts because you haven't done anything except
No.
trying to help this person.
And you have to take the consequences
And
for
then-
someone else's bullshit.
Exactly.
That is a terrible place to be in. And I reached out to this guy and I was like, hey, I don't understand. Like, this person has been spreading rumors, and I want you to know that I did not put you in a bad light. I didn't say shit about you. I mentioned you in this context, but I also specified that you didn't do anything. I was just saying that the way we worked wasn't effective, and that we should consider that the next time so that we can do something else while you remake the way we work, you know.
Yeah.
Then we don't have to do the same work twice. But I specifically specified that you didn't do anything wrong. You were doing your job, but we couldn't do ours.
Yeah.
And we should have thought of that earlier.
And
you know,
that's-
like it wasn't anything about the person himself.
No.
Like it wasn't like he did terrible work. So
And this
we
is the
couldn't-
person that she wrote to.
Yeah.
Or
This is
started trash talking.
yeah.
Okay.
Me about him, and that I was talking shit about him. That was the thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so now I had a conflict with a person I like. I was like, what?
That's crazy.
Yeah, because I've had a super great dialogue about him and Underverk, like trying to get him to come here if he wants to move on and shit.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It was so weird, dude. And I come in that morning on my birthday, and she comes in like, oh, happy birthday. And I'm like, how can you be so fake? How can you be so fucking evil?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, shit just like, I'm so angry. But I don't want to talk to her.
No.
I want to talk to, you know, people in power.
Yeah, of course.
And the
something
first
needs
one,
to happen.
yeah, something needs to happen, and I don't want it. I don't want to have any contact with her.
No.
So I just ignore her,
Yeah.
and I wait for and then just like this, we have this called Scrum Masters. This is stuff I haven't talked about yet, motherfucker. But anyway, I should have mentioned all these.
But you can't mention
but you
everything.
No, but everything just gets so.
No, but this is what I talked about.
Yeah,
Like
you
you start
thinking,
remembering things.
remembering
and,
everything. Yeah, but our Scrum Master comes in and she's like, "I know." She gives me this, "I know."
Oh, okay.
You don't have to explain. She just walks up to me. She's like, takes my shoulder, like, "You don't have to explain anything. I got you."
All right. So now people are starting to realize that she is bullshitting.
Yes, because
Okay.
she reached out to me just like a day before or something, and she's like, "I feel like I'm being lied to by this person," and I'm like, "I know, I know exactly what you mean." And she helps me out. They confront her and everything, and everything is fake fine.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Of
she
course.
says everything that they want. So I tell them, like, I don't want to be a manager anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I think I say it around this time somewhere. I just like, pass, hard pass.
Yeah.
Because this shit is stressing me out. I can't sleep, can't eat, because this wasn't the first thing. This was the first
Oh, I
like
remember.
visual thing. Like
Yeah.
over the biggest thing she did that had repercussions pretty much.
Yeah, but she
That I knew about, so
she'd already placed small bombs everywhere.
everywhere. Yeah.
and they were just
and
taking-
eventually people caught on. I don't know if everyone did, but it wasn't a great feeling knowing you're being judged
Yeah.
and you haven't done anything. Like that feeling, it's like getting marked as, like you
A
abusing
rapist or-
someone,
yeah,
rapist, whatever
exactly.
the stamp is.
And you're like,
Once
"But I
it's
didn't
been
do-"
put on you,
Yeah.
like let's say you could say it like this: 100 people find out, or like someone spreads a rumor to 100,000 people that you did something terrible,
Yeah.
no matter what it is. Then when the correction sort of comes, like, oh, he didn't do shit. Like 1,000 of those people, you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
10,000 of the 100,000 people find out that you're not a creep, but the rest of them still live with that fact.
Yeah.
So they judge you accordingly.
Yeah, you're still going to be
You're
stamped with
you're
that.
like,
yeah.
that like mark never leaves you. Like maybe eventually they don't give a shit,
But I mean, the damage is already done.
the damage is done. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's the feeling that I felt.
Yeah.
So I passed her on, or like talk to HR. I was like, fuck this, fuck all of this, because you guys aren't doing anything, and I'm the one suffering for
Yeah.
it.
You need to
Yeah.
do something, right?
And they passed her on to another manager then, like another team member.
Oh, okay.
With seniority like mine
But in the same team.
in the same team.
All right.
And then this person is like, oh, this happened and this happened, and like every day, like I need to talk to you.
What?
Yeah, because the person, like, she was like, this other manager who was like, okay, I'm talking to her, I'm making up a plan. She says everything's fine, and then she does none of it. I was like,
fuck?
exactly that.
Yeah.
That is exactly what I've been dealing with. And she says she understands. I send her an email. She confirms that I understood and that we're working towards the thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And then
Nothing.
Yeah.
Fuck. God, I'd be.
And I was like, I know.
I'd
I
be
know this is
going
what I'm
crazy.
Yeah, exactly. And you can't fire a person because you have nothing.
No. Of
Like,
course.
it's just me, my manager, this manager, like the scrum master.
Yeah,
just a
yeah.
few people that know what's going on, and
Yeah.
you can't prove anything. Like, it's complicated.
Yeah.
It's like a fucking Facebook status. And it's so annoying and so frustrating, and you can't do shit. So you're suffering because someone can mess you up pretty bad, because they don't care about the fucking rules.
No, and it's
It
out
just-
of your hands. Like you,
Yeah, exactly. You
Yeah.
just get to.
you might even make it worse if you start.
No, but it feels like they feel like how do you say it? Like an earthquake or something. It just happens, and you have to pick up. You play by the rules, you
Yeah.
know, but the earthquake doesn't.
Yeah.
It's just an earthquake, pretty much, and you have to clean up. Like you have to take the consequences for the things that happen.
Yeah.
And that is a horrible feeling. And eventually I got so stressed. I told them, like, you can take your seniority, you can take your manager shit. And I just want to be a regular artist, you know, like the bass artist.
Yeah. Just bring me back to the good old days. Like,
But the problem was that King was in a phase as well where they got, like years before they got bought up by
Blizzard, yeah.
Activision Blizzard.
yeah.
So like a lot of change was happening and they wanted to like, oh, you should all set goals. You know, like, and I'm not a goal setter. I've worked there
I
for
hated that,
7. No,
too.
but I've worked there for like 7 years. Not at the time, you
Yeah.
know, but I was getting close to the 7 years.
Mm.
And like going to work, doing a kick-ass job and going home was fine for me,
Yeah.
but it wasn't good enough for them.
That's so
Yeah,
weird.
that is
What-
so weird because they wanted like, oh, you should just have like 5 simple goals, and I don't care. Like, why should I have 5 pointless goals?
Exactly.
Like, unless I have an actual goal that I want to
Just
achieve.
let me do my job.
Yeah,
Like,
but it wasn't good enough
No.
for them. Like, they didn't want you to just do your job. They
same
wanted
at
you to
Lego.
do-
Same system.
and I don't work like that.
Same.
And this is when they're like, okay, we'll give you the. They were really nice about me sort of stepping down a
Yeah.
bit, and I told HR I was super stressed, can't sleep, can't eat, you know, like I don't feel good, and they were like, that is so cool. You worked here for a long time. We're going to support you in all your decisions and just like do that.
But that's really nice.
Yeah, but my manager, the guy that I, you know, he just like, oh, but I still want you to like 5 goals. Just shit like that.
Kept pushing that fucking
Yeah,
idiot
and I
thing.
got super angry for a while. And I told him. And even when I quit, I told him why I quit. Like, I was like, he's like, is part of it me? I was like,
Yeah.
or he said, am I the reason? I was like, you're part of the reason
Oh,
why
really?
I quit. Yeah. I'm like, when I'm honest, I'm honest.
You're always honest.
Yeah.
But that's like one of the best qualities that I love about you, that you are
yeah.
always.
I try not to hurt people's feelings, but I'll be honest. Like,
Yeah.
I told him, like, you're part of it.
Yeah.
Like, your 5 rules or 5 goals and shit. Like, I totally get that they're coming from the U.S., you know, like the rules and stuff, but they're not for me. I don't want to work like that. I don't want people to put goals on me that
No.
I didn't set myself.
Exactly.
And when you force me to make goals, that becomes a thing for me, so I will perform worse.
Yeah.
And they
It's-
were like,
yeah.
when you do things, you do them like you crazy. You do them crazy good.
Hmm.
But then there's like periods of time where I wasn't doing crazy, and then they were judging that I wasn't doing crazy. You know, like the way that I work
Yeah.
with this podcast, with my drawings, with, you know,
Family and
family. Like,
fucking
I do all of
everything.
it, and I
Yeah.
do it crazy. You know, like
Yeah,
I go
yeah.
like all in. Like, oh, you work out? Yeah. What do you work out for? Nothing. I just work out, and then I do it a lot. And that's how I do things. Like, I
Yeah.
do things so I can master them.
Mm.
And when I don't have that drive, I won't do that.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah. Of course.
and that is a motivator for me. Like, finding shit and then trying to do them awesomely. Like this podcast, I had no idea how the fuck you did anything.
No.
Like, I didn't understand any of it.
But you are that guy. Like you read about everything there is to know about the whole thing,
Yeah,
whereas
yeah.
I am the total opposite and don't read anything about anything.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I just improvise as much as I can.
Yeah.
But
But
I follow your lead.
But that's what I like about me as well. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that is what I like about me.
It's
the
a great quality.
obsessiveness. Yeah, it's an
It is.
obsessiveness. That's why I can't get to work and start playing pinball, because then I want to master the pinball machine.
Yeah, exactly.
And last time I was here, I was playing that pinball machine for 1.5 hours nonstop, and I was like, "Holy shit, I need to stop."
Yeah.
So I went to pee, and then I took a shower, and then did things in between, like brewed some coffee. You know, just like to get away from that machine.
Yeah.
Because I want to master all of it. If I find it fun and engaging, I'll try to master it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so eventually they started messing. Like, they were also on my friend, who was like Dominus, Andy, that was on the podcast.
Oh, really?
They were on him as well. Like, that
Really?
he wasn't performing as a senior. And I think this is the time. Like, when I knew he was like under scrutiny for quite some time. They just like, oh, you're doing like senior stuff. I was like, we're maintenance.
Yeah.
Like that's what we are. Candy Crush maintenance team.
Exactly.
Like we're all maintenance now. Like it doesn't matter how senior, how
No.
like, you know, we're all maintenance. And oh wow, this story is not about being a game artist. This is dark shit.
No, but this is very interesting because
But-
people want to know how you moved on from King and
Yeah,
why.
okay, yeah.
Because you didn't talk about that when
Yeah, I didn't fucking talk about
we
that. That is
mentioned
true.
we mentioned her, but we didn't actually.
It's already been an hour. I understand why
Yeah.
it became 3
See?
hours last time.
But yeah, so it's for me at
Okay.
least. This is really interesting because
Okay,
this is
yeah.
stuff that I wanted to know as well.
Yeah.
You have told me a lot of this, but
Yeah,
now
but not all
we're
of
getting
it.
like the full context of it, which is really nice, or for me at least.
Yeah.
I'm hoping everybody out there also.
But
likes
just
this.
to put like to end the part about her
yeah,
is that I'm homesick. I don't remember why, but
probably stress.
dude,
Your body
they're
shut
likely.
down.
Yeah. I think this is about when we're about to quit the podcast.
Yeah.
Or I think we've quit the podcast. Like it's just around that time.
Okay.
I'm gone. I'm sick for a long time.
Yeah,
I think it's
like a month.
5 weeks. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, or
I
something like
remember
that,
that.
or
I
7
remember that.
weeks. And my friend Andy like texts me. He's like, she quit. That's all he wrote. Like no explanation, nothing. She quit. She quit. That's all I get. Yeah, she also was gone for like a month. When she came back in Sweden, you're not allowed to like, I think it was because of stress, so she wasn't in a good place either.
Mm.
But the way she acted for those like 2 years, like I don't feel sorry for her.
Damn.
Like at all. And from what I've heard like since, like no. This is a terrible person that does terrible things to people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's you break people and you lie about people and you just do like evil stuff to get your shit. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
It's like blame shifting, or not
I don't
blame
even know what
shifting,
to
but
call
like
it. Just
trying to
socio-
save your own ass by blaming other people for
Yeah, 'cause-
stuff that's not even.
Yeah,
Anything.
it gets. Like, there's even darker shit that I heard that I don't want to say out loud
No.
because I know people that might work there still. You know.
Yeah, you don't want.
But it's just like, why would anyone do that? You could ruin someone's life with the things that she wanted to do. Like it's
God, that's frustrating.
garbage people.
Yeah.
Yeah, doing bullshit things.
All right, so
But yeah,
so she's
she
gone.
quit. But then again, nothing was good because the company was shifting into a direction that I think as a new starter you wouldn't care.
no.
Like, oh, it's a new job, it's fun stuff. But for me that worked there for 7 years, Andy started the same, like we had the same introduction.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
Oh
we
really?
met like
I
years
thought he
ago.
was like came
No,
in
no.
years later.
No. He came in years later in my team.
Oh okay, but he was at King.
Yeah, he was
the
at
whole time.
King the same time. Like we had the same introduction and everything.
right.
That's where we met, like in the kitchens of a hotel.
That's so weird.
And yeah, it's super fun though. Like we clicked immediately.
Well, he's a
and then
great guy.
he was working in Romania
Yep.
that time. So he flew to Sweden. We talked there, and then we didn't meet each other until like the event, different King events. We had twice a year.
Yeah.
But they start picking on him as well. I've already gotten the demotion and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in a good place ish, like still a bit angry, a bit stressed about all this weird stuff going on around us because we worked there for a long time and it's different.
Yeah.
And they were on him about not being senior, not being this. And King got to a point where they weren't clear about their positions. Like, what is a senior artist? What is an artist? And then a junior. The 3 steps, like senior, junior, and
So there's
the
no
normal.
like clear lines in
there
between.
There was some
or
shit written, but it felt like everyone was sort of
doing the same thing.
no, just reading them their own way.
Oh, okay.
Like I don't know, they expected stuff. Like let's say you write rules, and then you have 3 teams or 2 teams, okay?
Yeah.
Or actually, you split me, you clone me into 2 people.
Yep.
You put me in the experimental team, and where we work with all the teams and do shit, and then you put me in Candy Crush episodes.
Okay.
Where it's about delivering episodes. And that was the main pretty much the main thing we had to do. Like whatever you guys choose to do, episodes need to come out every week like that. at.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
first it was 1 episode, then it was 2 episodes, then like it keeps going. 3 episodes, 4 episodes. You just like you need to release shit. Yeah. And the more we release, the better the company does.
Of course.
And when you do that, and you're like, oh my God, we like the company wasn't doing great, and then we came in and produced like, I don't remember, like 12, 14 episodes in 2 weeks.
What?
Yeah. And we were aiming for 20, and they were like, you really don't need to do 20. You do like 8 and we're good. And we did 12 or something.
That's awesome.
And that gets the stocks that year to go above and beyond.
Holy shit.
Because we were going to lose the target.
Yeah.
And with our efforts and the other candy teams doing like a little thing, we all together like pushed the whole thing. So that, imagine how much money that must have been.
Mm-hmm.
And what we got was like, good job. And then it's just like, but you should do more. You know, like that type
So
of
it's like
treatment.
not-
No
yeah.
appreciation at all. And we weren't like asking for money. We were asking for like a bit of fucking slack.
Yeah,
Fuck your
exactly.
5 goals.
Yeah.
Look at that. That's
Like
Just that
this
is-
is the goal. This is
every time we had a meeting, like the content teams major or like you have one assignment and that's to make the fucking episodes.
Yeah.
And we live up to that with a gold standard.
Mm-hmm.
And it was never enough. So at some point you start to get annoyed.
yeah.
And I was always arguing about this. I was
Yeah.
like, this is the main thing. Why do you want me to focus on something else that is arbitrary to what we do?
Yeah.
Like it's just
You're there to
pointless.
do
you
that job.
We're there to do that job. Why would you want to disperse my attention to bullshit?
Exactly.
And that's the reason why I stepped down from senior is that you're expected to do more shit
Yeah. Of
outside
course.
of your team as
Of
well.
course.
And I stepped back from that as well. But still, like the 5 goals, the 5 bullshits, you know, like trying to, because that doesn't work for me.
No.
Like I can't make up goals. Like once you finish a drawing, what happens?
It's done.
It's done.
Yeah.
What happens? Do you start on the next one like that?
If you want.
Like no, I don't. I don't. Like if
Yeah,
it's something that I've spent time on,
Then you want a little breather in
you
between.
want a breather in
Of course.
between for the inspiration to sort of like
Kick
like
back in
yeah,
and-
exactly.
yeah.
It's like a slingshot effect,
Yeah,
sort
of
of like you
course.
just need that little.
Because you worked on a project. I'm
Yeah,
only
it's
assuming,
draining.
and it's exactly. It's draining. So
draining.
it's fun in the beginning, and then
Yeah.
it just becomes
And
tedious,
then it becomes work, and then
Yeah.
you let it go, and you feel empty,
yeah, exactly.
and then you need to somehow recharge. And
Yeah.
however you do that, for me, it's time.
yeah, yeah.
And yeah, so now they're on Andy. Like my case is like
I mean, you
it's
step
better.
down. So
Yeah, I stepped down, but it's not good.
No.
But then they start with Andy, and it's like, and I've been a manager, so I sort of see what's coming. I was like, they're going to do this or that to you, man. And if they do that, tell me because I'm going to quit with you.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm sending an email that same day because I know he has the meeting on Friday. I send an email like early or that like week. And it's to my friend Tolbe at the company that I work with now. He sent me an email like years ago, like 2 years ago, I think, prior to that, that said like the future. And he was offering me an art director position at the company that he works at. And I was like, no, I'm really happy at King because I was 2 years before.
Yeah.
And then somehow shit got dark fast. And I sent him like, I take that same email. I changed the tag to the future 2.0 and I sent back that email like, what do you got for me? And he was like, dude, you're super lucky. We're looking for senior artists if you don't mind that.
Mm-hmm.
Just come in and talk on, I don't know, Thursday. And I did go on Thursday.
Yeah.
And I talked to them and I was saying like, oh, this is my worries about changing, you know, and everything. They were like, we got you covered. You just make the decision and we'll meet you there.
So you had the job pretty much straight away.
Yeah, I didn't sign it though. I waited for Andy's
The
verdict.
Yeah.
So Andy has the meeting the day after.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so like happy about
The way the
interview.
meeting.
Yeah, I was there for 3 hours. We talked about shit.
Well, this is you. This is you with
Yeah.
everything. Like this is. I need to sidetrack just 1 second. But every time we meet anybody, I have to like assume we're going to be talking to that person for like 1 or 2 hours because that's how Ilias works. He's like blah 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 blah, and it's, you know, we derail in life, not just the podcast.
Yeah, it's not just the podcast. It's really not.
Sorry,
And
but
then when I don't like someone, that conversation will be super short.
yeah,
It's like the exact opposite of that.
but yeah. Okay, so what happened with his meeting then?
Exactly what I said was going to happen. They're going to either shit, what was the first one? I don't remember what the first thing was. But they made him like, oh, you can quit. Oh, yeah, that's what I said. They're going to either give you a deal or they're going to give you a PIP, which is a personal improvement plan. But guess what they did? They offered him a deal or a PIP.
No way.
And manager stuff. And they just like, dude, the poor guy, I was like, just take the deal. Like, it's not worth, like, talk to your union, like, tell them that. Also, do some changes to the deal and take it. And I'll quit with you. And I did.
Nice.
Yeah. I went the week after, I go to the company, I sign the deal.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I just resigned.
And that was that.
Yeah, and I told everyone why. And the worst thing about that was telling my team, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was the worst. Because I told you, like, once I got the team on board with how we worked and everything, and we created a culture pretty much. And we worked closely for years. So that was horrible. Because Sandra, the German Dutch girl, was... we got really close as friends as well. And we talked about superhero shit. She even cries at all the Marvel movies.
Who doesn't?
Exactly. And she was, like, a hardcore fan about, like, Harry Potter, that stuff, all of it. So, and then we had Mila and Andy, and Christian. We were all, like, really close. And even with the game designers and everything. So that was horrible. But they gave me the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse book.
The art book.
Yeah, and they all signed, like, a page of it with, like, different stuff. And
That's
they
so
drew sharks
cool.
in it. And, that was our, like, the team mascot thing.
Nice.
It was IKEA sharks, basically.
I remember the stuffed sharks.
Yeah. Yeah, so, no, it was beautiful. Like, I hated telling them that I was going to quit. And, yeah, it was sad times. But I was happy that because as soon as I left that company, all that stress, most of it.
Just, yeah.
And I asked, the company so many questions. But I think I'll save that, like how to do interviews for another episode.
Yeah.
I think we should revisit the portfolio/interviews thing.
Yeah, I think so too.
But
I have that as a note to myself.
But just some basic stuff about working at a gaming company that isn't my dark story there.
But first,
we had fun times.
What's the new company?
The new company is something I had some preconceived notions about. It's a casino game company.
Yeah.
That makes slot games, and it's called Thunderkick. And the cool thing about Thunderkick is that they give us this like little brief, like this is this type of game. Like, it's for the people that have played for a long time. It's a bit aggressive, or it's, like, slow-paced. They give you, like a brief with different sort of...
Scenarios, or not?
No, just the type of game that it is. What feeling or whatever they're chasing.
So, like, little bullet points of...
Exactly.
Stuff to think about.
And then it's all up to you.
That's
you
awesome.
can fucking copy-paste the whole, like, Google library if you want. It's just about making a proof of concept. And then pitching your idea.
And everybody does this.
Yeah, exactly. So cool. And the thing is that it's like, okay, well, these two people just made a game and they're done. So you have like a bit of landing time. You can learn some new shit or just chill out or like explore some new ideas, like a game that you made up.
Yeah.
And then they're just like, okay, now we have a game. We'd like you to work on it. And then it's like, for example, me and Sam that work on this game that we have now. So he went for like one type of game, and I went more for an Asian. Like he went for like a King Arthur type game, and I went for like Asian themed game. So I explored some different ideas, and then I found like, oh, I want to go Mongol, or I want to go Japanese, or whatever. And then you just start exploring, and you put together what looks like a game. So you have, like all your graphics and everything. You make like fake slot symbols and everything.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
To
like a mock-up, I guess?
Yeah, exactly. So you give them like a few ideas of what the game could look like, and then you pitch it to the owners, the board.
So not the whole team.
Not the whole team. Like me and Sam work together, so we're just checking each other's stuff on a daily, but. Then we have this, I don't remember what the meeting was called, but it's pretty much stakeholders, like people that have like a part in the company. Yeah. You just present like, oh, this is my idea. It's about this. And, I don't know all the lingo. And you just present the idea. And this time they happened to like my idea for the type of game that it was. So it was like two strong themes, but mine was more fitting to the type of game that they presented in the brief
All right.
or in the spec.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we just went with that, and now I've been working on that for 6 months.
That's so cool.
And it's almost done.
It's so cool.
It's insane. I think we're releasing sometime in December, I think. So my first game will be done, and then I'm going to move on to the next thing. So I've done one game, and now you move on to the next one. And, like slot games, you press a button and shit spins.
Yeah.
But the fun thing is that the work isn't as boring as you might think. Like, you'd think that you're doing the same thing, which you are, but you're animating, you're drawing, and you're coming up with everything yourself.
That's so cool.
And your team, And it's super fun because I think we're like a 3-man team. That like one developer, like a client developer, and 2 artists on this game. And we're just working together like, oh, no, I don't like this. Okay, we should have a meeting about what this should look like or how do we do this animation,
Mm-hmm.
And I'm basically learning a lot right now. I'm just taking a back seat and just learning and learning and learning. So that's super fun.
Doing what you do best.
Yeah. So basically here, that is what we do. We come in, we have like a sprint planning.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, during these 2 weeks, we're going to learn or like solve these things. Like we're going to do the reels and the symbols, the low symbols, which pretty much is like the lowest worth symbols in the game. And then you draw those for 2 weeks.
Okay.
And then
the next step.
Exactly. And sometimes you just like you manage to do all of it. Sometimes you manage to do parts of it. And then you're like, oh, yeah, I have some left because this didn't look great, blah, blah, blah. And then you're like, okay, you'll do this plus this other stuff. And you just plan it in, for every 2 weeks.
Cool.
So you usually know what you're going to do.
Yeah.
Like for me, it's a bit fuzzy because I don't know all the things that need to be in this game.
Yeah.
But you're learning, eventually. So, but that's why I like, Sam, I don't know what I'm doing. what should I focus on next? Like what is important in the production, like with your experience? And then he just like, oh, well, I think we should focus on this. Okay, that sounds reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
And then I do that.
How long has he been in
He's
the
been
company?
there for like over a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is the company... No, it wasn't that
The
new.
company, no, they've been around since 2012, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
he hasn't been there for that long, but
No.
still, yeah.
Cool. And but... Yeah, I'm just assuming you're not regretting this move at all then.
At all. No. The freedom in this company, they were so nice, dude. They were like, come and go as you need to make your life work, as long as you like make the
Deliver.
game. Yeah, deliver the stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. So on days where the trains are late or canceled or anything, I can just
There's
sit
no
at home.
stress.
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
just sit at home and do the same thing.
That's awesome.
And
That's so awesome.
yeah, that is the best. And I was super upfront. Like sometimes, I can't make it or I can't do this or they were just like, well, work from home or, like come half day, leave early, like
Yeah.
as long as like, we try to pull our 40 hours,
Mm.
but sometimes you work a little less and then sometimes you work a little more like I do when we do the podcast,
Yeah,
for
yeah,
example.
exactly.
I get in at like super early and then I leave a bit later to make this and then I've earned some hours there,
Mm.
You give and take and then eventually you've worked your 40 hours.
It's going to be balanced in some way.
In some way, yeah. But just in game companies, I guess, like I don't know how it is on like AAA studios because I've only worked with mobile games.
Yeah.
But usually there's different types of teams. So for example, in Candy Crush, I think is like the best way to explain it because it was fairly big.
Yeah.
First of all, you had different teams. You had one team that was features, a certain type of features like pop-ups, things that were outside of the main game. So they created, anything that had to do like Candy Crush Pets or, like the Wheel of Fortune or, shit like that.
Yep.
Or like play levels that weren't inside the actual progression. So they created stuff too while you wanted to win boosters or like extra stuff, you could play those extra levels or challenges.
Mm-hmm.
That was one team. And we were the content team, which means we create the things that you usually use, like your progression. So level 1 to, 5,000.
Damn. Oh.
And every episode was 15 levels. So it was that artist's job to make sure that the assets and everything was created for that episode were in the game with all the levels, all the, whatever else needs to be in that game, that episode, you make sure that it's there. So that's beside drawing. So once you've drawn your shit, even though you're not making the level design, which is like how the levels are built and added to the game, you make sure that those levels are on your episode.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you talk to the level designers, because our team consisted eventually, once this shit got a bit clearer than when I started, we were artists, level designers, developers, and then we had a producer and a scrum master. This is shit I should have said from the beginning.
Yeah.
And these are people that have different functions. So the game designers design the levels and make sure the levels are tested and implemented. The developers were pretty much just brushing up code and adding code when we were adding new features.
Yeah.
And then we have the artists that make sure that the episodes are there. We also made sure that the episodes were released and, planned for future episodes and produced episodes. Like, there's a lot of things to keep track of. But we made it seamless. Like, we created a system that worked. And it was easy to teach, and it was easy to get into. And Sandra, my friend, she created a library. She took all the assets from the game and made, AI files, Illustrator files.
With everything.
With everything sorted. So
Fucking
edibles,
fantastic. So
candies. Yeah, exactly. So German. She was super effective. She'd make the Germans look
sloppy.
Sloppy, yeah. She sorted everything. She had bodies of water, mountains, blah, blah, blah. Just bushes, vegetation, she just put everything into categories.
So good.
And just made our job so much easier because you could copy paste things that we wanted to keep sort of consistent, but then you drew the other stuff that you didn't need.
So
I
smart.
don't need to redraw trees.
No,
Trees
'cause you
should
have
look
them.
a certain way
Yeah.
unless it's a specific special tree that is made of licorice,
Yeah,
whatever
exactly.
the fuck. So you never redrew a tree, you just reused the tree. And then did changes to it as you sort of needed
Yeah.
to.
So
And
maybe it's a summer theme
Yeah,
and then it's
exactly.
a winter theme.
And
Yeah.
I made the same thing, for example, for characters, where I took all the Tiffys, which is the main character that we use,
Yeah.
and I made perfect vectors with perfect grouping. So you could just I don't want the hat, you could just remove the hat. So she was one of those dress-up dolls.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
And
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what I did with her.
Nice.
So the basic Tiffys I made seamless to use. And if you wanted to sort of move the face, you could do that as well. I made everything into parts, little
Perfect.
groups that you could move around if you went into the object.
Yeah.
And it's stuff like that we just made that made it easier for everyone. So once you created a new version of her, you just put it in that library.
Perfect.
So
Yeah.
that was the rules that we had. And so we call that the asset library. So anything you created for Candy Crush was put in this library. So I didn't have to go into your messy shit and try to find this character. I could just go to the asset library,
Grab it,
grab it and put it in.
Yeah.
And I don't have to separate it from other shit or do anything. It's just
No.
there.
And it's already been approved. It's already good to go.
Exactly. So everything that was there was the good stuff.
Yeah. Less,
Yeah.
what do you call them? Korvendor.
Exactly, because it was
Yeah.
perfect.
Awesome.
And all these people, the important thing about working in a team like this is communication and also responsibility.
Yeah.
Feeling, I think that's the beauty of that team, was that we all felt responsible for the product and each other. So we were always covering each other's backs. Oh shit, she forgot to do this. I'll just do it. We were always who can do this? And then there was always one
Yeah.
offering instead of everyone standing quiet. Even if you didn't like the task,
You'd still do it.
you'd still do it. Sometimes you'd be quiet and then oh, no one's taking it, I'll take it. Even if I hated activation, for example. It wasn't hard, it was just blah. And you just take it. You don't care. You just you do the job. It helps a friend, even if it's their turn. We didn't care about that. the most important thing for us was that the task got done.
Yeah.
And we didn't care. Like, a beautiful thing as well that we used to do was that we, like, if someone made a mistake, we didn't focus on that person will know they made, like, when I forgot shit, it doesn't go unnoticed by me.
No.
Like, you feel terrible because I know someone else had to fucking fill my shoes. And the same with everyone else. So we always made sure to just solve the problem at hand and don't care about, like, blaming anyone or doing it. And that's why I was a bit bummed with this person that made everyone in the team feel like shit.
Yeah. And then...
And not caring, not having that responsibility for your team. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Not giving a fuck, really.
Not giving a fuck and still causing strife.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was a bit terrible.
But I lost my train of thought. I had a question.
It was really good, right?
Yeah, it was super good.
But was it about the workflow? Or
it was more just trying to get you to talk a little bit more about the job you're doing now, kind of. Like
Okay.
how do you see any, like, what's the biggest major difference apart from you being in a smaller team? And I mean, obviously it's, you work in different programs now, or are you still majorly, or like...
I don't work in Illustrator that much.
No?
No. So now I'm basically Photoshop, but I still use my iPad for most of the art that I do.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I sit like they laughed so much when I started because every day they'd come in, I'd be sitting like in a new position. Sometimes I had like my chair super low and my desk higher so I could have my legs, and then I was like lying down in my chair looking up towards my iPad sort of, and just like, having it rest on my knees and drawing. I don't know, like I can't explain it. Like I was sitting in different positions because the iPad just is that simple. Like
It's so cool.
yeah. So that was a lot of fun. Like, and I still use the iPad for most things. I've gotten a bit unused, I love the way that the touch works on the iPad. It's so seamless. So when I go back to tablets and computers, it feels clunky to me,
Yeah,
and it's so far away as well,
exactly.
and that really ruins it for me. So I don't think I have a good workflow in Photoshop anymore. Like, I know Photoshop like the back of my hand.
Yeah, but
Well,
it's like just a little bit too complicated, or like
No,
not
it's
too
not
complicated.
that. It's just that my workflow on the iPad is so much better.
yeah.
And it's
and is it
seamless.
Procreate that you're using?
Yeah, Procreate. And then I just photo drop, or AirDrop,
Yeah.
AirDrop is what it's called, to my Mac. And then it just
Continue
I
in
have the file,
Photoshop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I add the last things in Photoshop because we use effects and stuff like layer styles and stuff that isn't supported by
Procreate.
Procreate. Yeah.
Yet.
So, yeah, I don't think they'll ever have that. That is so heavy.
Yeah, but you never know.
But you never know. Yeah. So
yeah,
I love that. And having a Mac and Procreate makes it seamless to go between the iPad and the, like, it really just takes seconds to send something.
yeah, it's
over.
pretty much the same hardware almost.
Yeah,
Like,
but it
it's-
is. The same people made it. That's
Yeah.
why. Like, it's not made for like a 50 million different Androids.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's why I love that environment, although I'm not a big Apple fan anymore.
No.
Because of their weird choices.
Yeah. I mean, I still love them more than I hate them. So
Oh,
I'm still
the
using
thing is,
it.
the OS I love. Would I pay for an Apple computer,
No.
like a new one? No, not at all. Like, I wouldn't spend that money. Like, I wouldn't spend, because right now you have to pay like 30,000-40,000
Yeah.
for a portless computer.
Mm.
Why would I do that?
Exactly.
Like,
You
why
couldn't
would
use
I-
it.
Yeah.
It's so
Like,
limiting.
without dongles and shit.
Exactly.
So that
I
is
fucking,
not for me.
Yeah, I hate those. God.
Yeah, dude. Just like to charge your phone and have a hard drive, you need like more cables. Like,
Exactly.
why?
And I fought the whole Bluetooth headset thing for a really long time because I loved my earphones, and yeah, all of a sudden you need a fucking dongle to even use a
normal headphones. Yeah, I
and
hate that.
Yeah, it just pissed me off.
Yeah.
But now I'm
I don't
using the
even know what
Bluetooth ones, and I love them.
Oh, I love the Bluetooth one.
It's
Yeah.
so-
The Bluetooth headphones are the best.
But yeah, so maybe they're onto something that we don't know, and it will change the world in the future. But,
Maybe. I
just
doubt it.
Yeah, fuck it.
But,
But yeah, so
So
other benefits with the change that you've noticed, apart from you getting more time, being with the family and doing all of this stuff. Obviously, we had the break during the time of your shift.
yeah.
So you didn't have the podcast as an extra layer of work or whatever you want to call it.
Complexity?
Yeah, or like because it takes up time.
It does
obviously.
take up time.
Now we've sort of divided it into a more equal thing, I
yes.
think, which is I feel it's a good thing. I still need to find like a little bit better routine in when I do things. Like I need to set off time to do the editing and all that shit.
Yeah.
But
I have some tips
like
for
it.
that. I
Good.
don't know if you can do it in Audition, Adobe Audition,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I have some advice that I used the way I used it on when I was editing the podcast. So
Mhm.
I'll give you those ideas and see if you can use them somehow in
Yeah.
because it's just loose ideas that I used and I think they helped. But
Nice. Yeah, I mean, fuck, anything helps.
yeah,
I mean, it's really, I know how to do it, and it's a good flow. It's just that
Yeah.
it takes time. I mean,
yeah,
that's all it
you
is.
can't the time you can't like
No.
if this is 2 hours, it's 2 hours
Exactly.
of editing at least.
Yeah, because you need to listen to it, and then you
But
go
you
back.
edit more. Like
Yeah,
you
I do.
edit like I did in the beginning, like too much.
Yeah,
And then eventually you just like pause. There, it's done.
yeah,
Like you'll get there as well.
Yeah,
Because
I
I was
think so,
also
too.
like trying to like cut out all my likes
Yeah.
or all the or the or like whatever that.
I'm trying
What-
not to focus in on those things now, but
Yeah.
it is very difficult, especially when you listen to it so much.
Oh yeah, dude, it
just-
is so annoying. But I
so,
think
yeah.
it's just accepting it and moving
yeah,
on.
yeah, it is.
Because Joe Rogan does it, for example, and he does it seamless. He just does the whole thing.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of and quiets and shit,
of course,
and it works.
Yeah.
I think it's just the way that you deliver it. If it's fun or entertaining,
Yeah, exactly.
it'll work. Like,
Yeah.
and you can like as much as you want.
I'm gonna like the fuck out
Like
of this
the fuck.
bitch. Yeah, honey badger, bro. Honey badger, bro. Yeah, bro.
I don't know if I have anything else. Like the type of work that we do is you just plan it out. You do some sketches. You talk with your teammates, and then you execute it. And then you try to get it into the game. And see how it looks.
But I think it's so cool. I mean, yeah, it's still like it's a casino and slot game, so I guess that's like, is it a good thing or is it a bad thing? It's always that. But I applied for a job like that in Australia and almost got it. But so like,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
biased. I don't give a shit. But
Yeah, that's
it just
changed
sounds.
my opinion.
It
though.
sounds like a lot of fun, especially when you get to do your thing.
Yeah.
Like, I can't imagine. Or how did that feel like? Like when they went for your project when you presented
it felt
it.
awesome, dude. It felt awesome
Because especially
I
like
didn't
you're
know what
new
to
to
expect.
the business
yeah,
as
I
well.
didn't know what to expect, and I just like copy pasted half, painted over them. I think I even like painted over some like Red Dead Redemption shit. I
Oh,
just
really?
I took like a character that I thought looked, the way that I wanted the character in my game to look.
Yeah.
And then I just put like armor on him, and I
so
shifted him
cool.
a bit just to make him look. And it was like shoddy work, like it was not great workmanship, but it got the feeling that I wanted, so I was just satisfied with that. And I took like a real sword and I painted over it and did stuff, because I wanted feeling. I wanted to create feelings rather than
Yeah.
create the art.
Or like more of an atmosphere.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
stuff. Yeah.
And I did some stuff, and they all just loved it. And now the game looks fucking awesome.
So do you have any tips for anybody out there that's sort of maybe going to present something or
That's
pitching
almost
something?
the name of my game, sort of.
Sort of. We're not spoiling it yet.
Nah.
But yeah, like if you're going into a meeting like that and if you're presenting a project, like what's going through your head during the days, I guess, leading up to that presentation, and how do you prepare yourself? Like, I don't know, because that's really
Okay.
interesting to me,
Yeah.
like
well,
a pitch meeting.
the cool
I guess.
thing about this place was that you have you have like a brainstorming phase or the pre-production sort of phase.
Yeah.
Where you try to find the feel for the game. First, it's just creating a generic idea. So it's just an idea phase where you just like you make shit.
Yeah.
And I don't remember what that phase was called at this company, but basically it's just you just do try to present a game idea,
Mm-hmm.
a basic one. You don't have to draw everything, you know. You just like fake it. You put it in there. They're like, oh, we like this idea. This time it was my idea, which was pretty cool.
Yes.
And I try to tell a story with it. You know, like, oh, when you win, this happens, and it happens, and this does, and this is the, like, you explain it because I didn't have time to draw all of it, you know. So you just like, in the bonus game, this happens. I'm thinking of this, like the moon and the thing coming, you know, like, and it changes to this color and everything goes gold. I don't know. You just try to give them an understanding, and then they sort of go off.
They visualize it.
As much
and-
as they can, because they're not artists.
Yeah.
But they've played enough games to sort of understand it more than I do, at least.
But it's also like, did you have a benefit coming from the podcast thing and everything? Like,
For talking?
yeah, compared to Sam, who I don't know if he's used to talking
Sam.
like that in meetings and stuff. Or
Well, Sam has been there for quite some time, so I guess but I think it's his first in-house job.
because
But I've talked like that at King as well. Like, I've had a lot of meetings at King.
because you're from a manager background, so you're used to
Yeah.
talking to people, and you are used to talking to people in
Yeah.
general, because
Yeah.
that's a gift that we both have, I think, just being these social beasts.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
we have it's not a struggle for us to just start talking to somebody,
No.
and we just, you can become friends with anybody. You just
Yeah,
open
yeah.
your mouth.
I think the hardest part here is the specific like language that they use
Yeah.
for the symbols and the different things. So I struggled there.
Yeah,
But I tried to explain it with words that I knew, you know.
baby language.
Yeah, exactly. And they seem to like understand that you don't know all of it, because I told them I haven't played any casino games before because of my preconceived notions.
Yes, of course.
I'll talk a little bit about that as well. But I think working at King has, like, for 7 years, I've been to a lot of meetings, both with, you know, like higher ups and people at my level and below. And I tried to never make a distinction between someone that's
High or low.
junior, high
Yeah.
or low. Yeah. They can make it as much as they want to, but I always told the people that I managed, I know you have like a junior in your title, but don't act like your title. You're like as much a senior as you are a junior if you act like it. That's how people, like, just do the work in the best way that you know how to do it. Because I knew people that had the stamp junior, but they were doing work like a fucking god. You know what I mean?
Could you brush over that real quick for people that don't know? Like, what is the bigger differences from, I mean, the obvious ones being a junior is somebody just starting out, and
Yeah,
a
yeah.
senior is somebody that's been there for a long. But what's the major differences between the different
The
titles?
steps, like I said, different from company to company. But a junior is someone that just comes in with no form of experience more than maybe drawing, you know, or whatever the junior position is.
Yeah.
Like, it could be a junior technical artist, but
Do they have
basi-
less to do then, as a junior?
you expect less of them.
yeah,
But
the
they could
task
do
is,
the same tasks as you do.
Yeah,
If you teach them correctly, they could be you.
Of course.
Basically, that's always been my goal, is to make everyone do what I do and do it better.
Better, yeah.
Yeah. Because I know that my passions are what drives me, and I do the other stuff, but if I try to get people to do everything. And as a junior, you come in with, like, you know your software, but you don't have to know it perfectly. You know, like, you know how to get around, you know your tools
Yeah.
a little, but you don't know how production works.
no,
A game artist per se might have, like, if you hire someone at the mid-level, which is like just game artist, you expect them to sort of come
least
in
know the
with
basics,
their, no,
or-
just come in with their, you know, like they understand both the work process, like they can get into it fairly easy
yeah.
without you having to explain every single thing to them. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
you don't have to hold their hand throughout
you
every
don't,
process.
You don't. And
Yeah.
usually you don't have to with juniors as well. Like, most of them, you just adapt super. Your belly is
Yeah,
loud, dude.
Yeah, I'm
yeah.
having stomach problems.
But yeah, and then as a senior, you're expected to do, you know, the work plus contribute to the rest of the game or company, you know.
So just a little bit more added pressure than I guess.
Exactly. So basically, you're supposed to do what the junior does, the mid-level, and
A little
your
bit
new
more.
task. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
so
So you're
everything.
expected to you're expected to do a lot of things. So it's not about drawing pretty pictures. You're supposed to make sure that, depending on the company and role, sometimes senior, you also become like an art lead for people.
Yeah.
And I was an official art lead because I had to, like, for example, we had an outsourcing company. That was my work.
Okay.
I also had to make sure to give everyone else feedback and make sure they gave each other feedback.
Oh, wow.
So it shouldn't just be me giving feedback. But I was like, oh, well, get one senior and anyone else. And then I was like, don't ask any seniors, just 2 people. We worked it out as a team. Like,
Yeah.
this feels better. Just grab anyone that's there. 2 people, 2 opinions. Use what you can. Fuck the rest. Because that's how you need to work. You're in production. You can't just like, oh, I'll do every single change everyone said.
No.
And then I told them, like, okay, try to keep your feedback to a minimum of 2 things. Because beyond that point, people are going to start not listening.
Of course.
So usually when I give feedback, which is a big thing in this industry, like, I think being able to take feedback is one of the hardest things in this industry that we haven't touched up on at all. And it's already been 1:48.
Yeah.
No, but so I always told them, like, say 2 things. If you say 5 things, choose 2 of them that are important.
Yeah.
And if there is a third one that you feel is super important, say it. But there are so many times where I was like, I really love the composition, colors are awesome, but the main focus of this image, or like this piece, like the character's arm and what they're holding, like melts in with the face. Like, it's too close to the face.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You just tell them to change that. Like, just move that thing away, create like some air between the face and the object, and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
And sometimes you tell them to, like, you need to change that thing because we can't have it because it looks like a swastika. No, that happened like several times. No, not swastikas, but, you know, like something else that was like, that jar looks like a big boob, for example, and you made it pink. You know, I did that.
Of course.
And I think someone made like rocks that looked like penises, and they had this like goo on top of them, and you're just like, that just looks like a
why?
big dick. Yeah. And it wasn't even intentional. You're just like, you know, sometimes things just looked so much what they were not supposed to look like. And
but
you
that's
just,
why
like,
it's good to
tweak it.
have other people also look at it, you know?
Yeah.
Because
And
sometimes you get blinded by what you
so
do.
blind, especially if you're on a time. You're just trying to, like, we weren't stressed in that way because we got really good at it, and we had an asset library to use, so we could, like, I don't have to draw trees again. It just saves a lot of time, or water, you know, like a puddle. I don't have to redraw a puddle.
Yeah.
You just change the colors. Oh, look, it's I don't know, you know, like raspberry juice.
Lake.
Yeah, exactly. And you'd save some time. But feedback, I think, is one of the hardest things in this industry.
Yeah.
I think where I'm strong, and I guess that where my seniority shines, is that I see a product, I don't see my art.
Yeah. Yeah, you
So-
can take your ego out of it.
But there is no ego because it's not mine. You know what I
No,
mean?
I know, but
they hired you. Yeah.
This is the biggest problem
Yeah, this is the
in the
biggest.
industry.
Yeah, this is
Everybody's
super-
got their ego, and it's so hard for people to understand. I mean, we've talked about this many times as well, but it is, you have to just kick your ego out the door and just see it as a product that everybody's going to slaughter anyways. So, why give a fuck?
Yeah,
when
you shouldn't care.
It's just
like,
work. It's
you should
work.
care about making an awesome end product. You should never lose that.
Yeah.
Because then it's time to move on.
Exactly. Because it's not your product.
It's not your product.
No,
like
that's something you need to remember.
Exactly. So if you're working on Apple and you're giving them something that isn't Apple, trying to push it in, and you're getting upset that they're not accepting, peer pressure. No, but you're trying to push in like a concept that isn't what they're going for. Like, Candy Crush is Candy Crush. You know, it looks in a certain way. Do I personally love it? Not at all.
No.
Do I draw like it when you see my stuff on Instagram or wherever? Not at all.
No.
Do
Well,
I draw?
I can see it's sort of, your link is almost like influenced a little bit with it. So I think it has sort of rubbed off a little bit on the way you look at things, because you've been there for so long, you can't help but
maybe.
it,
I don't know.
It comes naturally to you, I think.
I think I just added my stuff into the candy world rather
Or
than the
or
other
maybe
way
that.
around. Yeah,
But
because
yeah.
you're trying to make your art look like their art. You
yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was always what I did, at least.
And that's something that I would
Because
struggle
you see
with.
my trees, you
Yeah.
see the stuff that is mine in Candy Crush
Yeah,
when
yeah.
you look, and
But-
you followed my work.
Exactly.
But then again, there are some things that you can't break, you know. So what I used to do to make it work for me is I'd take assets that were iconic and then draw around them with my stuff.
Oh yeah.
So my difference
Wasn't
Was
noticeable in
as
that way.
much
Yeah. That's so smart.
with the other stuff.
Yeah. So you
Because
had the main
because
thing.
I personally had a hard time drawing that style because it was illogical.
yeah.
And it was. I was the guy that broke down the style and then taught it to others.
Yeah.
And I told them, like, when you make quick mistakes, like when you draw something super fast and it doesn't follow, like, let's say we had this thing called like a toenail shadow or a highlight. It looks like a bitten off, like
Toenail.
a crescent moon, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it looked like, I called it toenail because I knew no one would remember crescent moon, but everyone remembers a disgusting nail. So I call it toenail shadow.
Nice.
And everyone remembers it because I told them, like, slap one of those motherfuckers, like a dark one at the bottom of a circle and one at the top, and you get the, you know, like the dark.
spherical-
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's how you sort of, what do you call it? Imply, you know, like the top and bottom and like a circular shape rather than having a nice gradient.
Of course.
With a nice little specular highlight on the top, you know, and just like you simplify, you dumb it down.
yeah.
That was a rule that was applied to everything.
Dumb it down.
But then there were stuff that was more abstract, but it was still a thing. But everyone was using it different from like back then when it was like a Wild West thing, and everyone was doing their thing. So there was no logic to what the style looked like. People were contradicting it all the time. So we started not doing that and tried to like get it into something that we could explain.
Yeah.
And we did that to some extent. That's pretty much as much as you could do to save it.
Yeah.
But yeah, just learning, like try to get like if you work on a game, if you're hired at a company and you have a hard time with the style, draw it a lot.
Yeah.
And take the iconic things that make up the style, paint on top of it, paint beside it. Try to create stuff that has little elements. See what is sort of repetitive, because there's always stuff that is repetitive
Yeah.
in artwork.
When you start breaking it
Yeah,
down.
when you start breaking it down, and try to find ways of working with it that works for you, so you can get along with the style that you're working with. Because I think my biggest mistake when I started, that I think many people struggle with, is you want to make it look nicer. You come in hungry, so you want to like, I'm gonna show them how to do their work. You know?
yeah.
And you want to
Lens
do
flare.
cool, yeah, like you want to do cool shit. And you think that the way they're doing it isn't cool enough, and you've seen this cool shit on ArtStation, and you want to do that, and there's a product.
Yeah.
And the style, usually, like if you come mid-production, is already set. You can't start making it look like, you know,
There's
your
no-
favorite artist.
Exactly. There's no wiggle room. You just
Anymore,
you,
no.
You have to do it. Like yeah.
And one thing that I can say is like, use the style if it's already set when you arrive to make cool shit. Like use the style as a challenge. Like draw the style but make cool shit. You can still be original
Of course.
with a set style.
Yeah.
You can create, I did Daft Punk, I did Slash, I did tons of shit we could have gotten sued for. Sneak them all in. I think there's a Guitar Hero guitar in there that I put in.
Oh really?
Yeah, Slash had it.
Oh yeah.
And Slash was pretty much Tiffy with a wig and a hat,
Nice.
and one of those like guitars from Guitar Hero. And
That's so cool.
you can do cool shit.
Easter eggs.
Easter eggs, exactly, with the stuff that you did. I made both the Daft Punk helmets out of candies, a yellow one and a...
That's so dope. I started
I think
doing.
I have those.
I
like,
started
saved.
doing Lego versions of Daft Punk actually.
That's awesome, yeah.
No, fuck! I threw away my my Samsung tablet. It was on there.
No!
It
Oh,
died.
it died. Okay,
Yeah, it did.
In your arms? tonight?
Yeah, actually it did. But so I think we kind of need to move on.
Yeah.
But just like me, sort of a last if you have any major tips for somebody looking into getting into the sort of your business.
Listen to the portfolio episode, I think. No, because it's really important. As a manager, I also did a lot of the portfolio reviews. I think I checked like 60 in one day, like.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And that's a lot of portfolios. And that's not even, like, nowadays, if I had checked portfolios, probably so many more.
Yeah.
So make your portfolio relevant. Like, have work that is, that looks like the company you're applying for.
Yeah.
And, like if you rip off one of their games, that just shows that you can work in that production.
Exactly.
That's better than having, like an awesome dude and a dragon and a sword and darkness. Like, no. Just match what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah.
Just that. Just like have your shit, but present like proof that you can do what they are asking.
Do you want to see more of, for me, when I want to see, somebody coming in, obviously I want to see the width of all they know. Like, is that something that you're looking into? Or is it more relevant to see that they can do your style good?
I would say not that they can just do the style, that they can do production work. And if you just have, like, semi-polished, Photoshop stuff that isn't looking like anything we can use,
it's not going to be
because it's like a lot of people can draw like cool shit, but then they can't do production work.
Yep.
Or they don't have like a workflow for it. Like this guy, me, when I got in, like you learn over time,
Yeah.
So that is a terrible way to start. I feel like because you're learning sort of running, which is both good and bad, because you're super stressed and the imposter syndrome kicks in.
But I think that's very helpful a lot of the time, because that's going to help you go frozen on the bitch, because you don't have time to sit there and like start tweaking stuff.
Sure.
You have to get it done.
But if you have like family and kids, it gets super stressful.
Yeah, of course
but
it is.
I think if you're just like young and hungry and don't have that much to live for outside of your work. No, I mean like your hobbies and your shit.
Yeah.
You can afford to run, like
do that process.
Yeah, do that process. Like, for me, I couldn't just go home and practice some shit, like there was no time.
No.
Not even sleep. So it was a hard like juggle.
Yeah. But I mean, you fucking did it.
No, I did it.
You made it work.
Came out the other end, but there are way better ways of doing it. Like just focus on like learning basic shit. And I think that's the thing that we shout out like with 21 Draw is that I think they have a master class. I don't remember the guy that does it, but it's about character design.
Yeah.
And I think the process, like if you look for a pirate at 21-draw.com. And just look for like this like skeleton pirate character. Just see that process. Like check the little thumbnails there, like the little videos, introduction videos. You can just see how he sort of like creates a character and what the ideas are. I think just learning a process that is that seamless will help you a lot in production.
Okay.
So that you have a set way of doing it, like when you sketch like a crazy person, but when you get into actually finishing the asset, you have like sketch, line art, flats, this thing, and you have this process. It'll make it so much easier.
Yeah.
So much easier to be a bit
conveyor belted.
Exactly, because it's still fun because the sketch phase is where you go bananas.
Yeah.
And then you do like the basic. Then you do
polish.
Exactly. Because then you do the line art, you do the stuff, and you tie it together, and that's a bit more sort of, I don't know, like conveyor belt shit. You just do it in the same way. And then you get to the colors again, and then you start playing around again.
You start giving it life.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah.
So just don't be, I think learn to take feedback. Like, step away from your artwork and look at it like they're looking at it. You don't have to agree with everything, but there's usually something there. There's they're reacting in a certain way for a certain reason.
Yeah.
Or you're like, and sometimes it's not even, the art might be awesome. It just doesn't work. Like you put it in the game and it doesn't show. Like it's too dark. It's too similar to the background. Like there's shit like that you need to consider.
Yeah.
And the faster you can like do a rough sketch of what you want and put it in a game, for example, you're like, oh shit, this idea does
Like, it's
not
not-
work.
yeah.
Yeah, this does not work. Then you know that idea, I don't have to spend like a week on it. And it can even be like a screenshot from the game that you know your character is going to be on. That's enough. And you just have that in Photoshop.
Yeah.
You don't have to put it in the game. You know, you just have that shot to play around with. So just be open for critique because it's usually not about you. It's about how your artwork
Works
plays with the product.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's usually
sense.
like they've hired you because they know you can draw. You don't have to prove that you can draw unless you lied and you took like someone else's portfolio. But usually they know you can draw. They want you to draw in production though. They want you to show that you can create something that fits the product without your personal biases. Like those will still slip in, but they just want you to do the product, you know?
Yeah.
And you can bring creativity to that if you choose to. Or you could just be one of those, like, hey, this is boring. I'm not creative. Yeah, but then you're in the wrong business.
Exactly. Then
They're paying you to draw.
exactly. But
So,
yeah. That was really great, man. And thank you for diving into the whole Candy Crush thing. I hope
Yeah,
that
yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
too much of a pain in the ass.
No, for me, it's not a pain. I was just thinking that went dark fast. Like, should maybe have ended.
Yeah, but
with,
this is the dark period.
dark
of the
period
Sketchbook
of the
Heroes.
Sketchbook Heroes.
Fuck yeah.
But yeah, I
Death
think
to all.
just be awesome. Just super simple, okay? The best tip I can give you, just be awesome. Try to avoid that beginner shit that everyone's struggling with. Just go directly to awesome. Just deliver cool shit. Blow everyone away.
Easy.
Easy peasy.
Yeah,
And
you can
you'll
do
be
it.
a senior before you know it.
We believe in you.
Go. The worst.
Awesome. All right.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-dow!
Let's go. Right?
So, yeah. So, we're almost in tune. All right.
Yeah. Swooshily swoosh.
Okay, we're back and we're talking tools. No, we're not because we have no tools.
There is no tools.
Except these two tools. And moving on.
And another swoosh. Yeah.
And we're back.
All right.
Are you ready for the retro?
Are you ready? Because, so last episode I got to decide retro.
Mm-hmm.
And because I got to talk the whole episode last time, and Ilias is talking the whole episode this time, Ilias got to decide what we're talking about.
And
so,
we're almost at the same time as the last episode.
Whoop, whoop.
I was like, Robert, you talked for so long.
Yeah, exactly.
And now I'm doing the exact same
Shut
thing.
up, Ilias.
Yeah. So on this week's retro, we're going to be talking about something that isn't super retro, but still awesome.
Yeah, it's retro.
Eh,
Everything is.
everything is retro.
Fuck yeah.
For us, apparently.
If it came out yesterday, it's definitely retro.
I love it.
Right?
That's the thing. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
So today, without further ado, we're going to be talking about Geralt of Rivia and The Witcher. Specifically, The Witcher 3 because it's the only one that I've played.
Same.
And I think I've spent about like 400 or 500 hours in it.
Only.
Only,
Okay.
yeah, no. And I've talked to people at work, and they said, "Oh yeah, I finished the main game in 120." And was
I
like,
still haven't finished it. So.
Yeah, dude. And I told them, no, I play slowly, and I try to do. And they were like, I did everything. I was like, oh,
Haha.
yeah.
I'm gonna restart it.
You should.
Because I started it 3 years ago, maybe.
Oh shit, yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So yeah.
It came out in 2015, I think. So that's about right.
Yeah. So for me, yeah, I need to just go back and restart it because I don't really remember a lot of it. So
Yeah.
But yeah.
But for those of you that haven't played the game, let me paint you a picture.
Awesomeness!
You're in no, but you're in this land, and you're one of these so-called witchers. They pretty much hunt monsters, and there's sort of mutated humans. Like they're mutated as kids. They take little orphan kids and take them to the Witcher school, where they teach them to fight, and do all these cool things.
And give them sort of
And
powers.
they have these concoctions that they make and have them drink, and then I don't remember what the survival rate was, but it's low.
Yeah.
And let's say like out of 10 kids, 2 survive or some shit. And
Sounds about right.
they mutate, and they can't use magic, but they can use like a version of magic. I would say like they can use a little magic. They are more like they can take more damage. Like their bodies change.
Yeah.
And then they train them to kill monsters for coin, pretty
Big
much.
monsters.
Yeah, and they're frowned upon because people think they are monsters,
Yeah.
but they have these heightened senses and stuff.
And yellow eyes.
And Geralt is, I think, one of the bigger ones.
Yeah.
Because he's known throughout the land for several reasons. Like he's fought several wars, helped, like major players in this land.
And obviously, it's if you're alive for a long time as a Witcher, you are probably really fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Like you're not somebody to be fucked with.
Yeah. And the cool thing about this game and the universe that they built is that you can loot everything. Apparently, looting is the biggest part of this game.
Okay, so that's what I'm gonna be doing.
Yeah, no. But you can go into any house, basically, and just loot the fuck out of everything. But if people see you or, like, the guards, they'll chase you. But
Oh yeah.
that's basically how you get provisions and shit. You can eat apples, like you find like a corpse and there's like piece of bread. I think I died, dude. I died so hard. But one of the coolest things about this game is not the main story. The main story is awesome. Don't get me wrong. You get to make a lot of decisions that you think are arbitrary, and then suddenly by
They
the
come
end, you fucking like massacred a village or something, because you made a choice. Like, yes, I'll have the wine, and then you just like you slaughter the village. No, but they're so like. It's so, like, they've made it so seamless. You make a decision, and then others suffer for it. And you're like, oh, shit.
So everything matters.
Everything does matter.
Yeah.
But the beautiful thing, I think, about The Witcher is all the crazy side missions. There are so many. Like, for example, just to, like, pick something. I'll try not to ruin the main thing, like what exactly happens. But, like, some girl has like lost her sister or her husband, something.
I remember that one.
And this is just out of the blue, you like visit a little village in the middle of fucking a swamp or something. I don't know what the fuck it is.
Yeah.
Just like somewhere. And you just like start like using your Witcher senses. You can smell things. You can like see footsteps where people can't because you have like this wolf.
Yeah, sort of
wolf
like
eyes.
wolf
Yeah.
powers almost. Yeah, so you can.
There are
Easy to
different
track
Witcher
people.
schools, exactly.
Yeah.
There are like different schools of Witcher. So there's like the wolf, the bear, the blah 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 blah,
And Gerald is the
wolf. Yeah,
He's got
so
that
he has
cool
this-
pendant.
and the cool eyes.
Yeah. Oh, those eyes.
Oh, they all have cool eyes though.
Yeah.
But you start like you're seeing like you're picking up a scent or you're seeing footsteps, claw marks, like a piece of cloth or something, and you start tracking, and eventually you like you see like paw prints or something, and you start following these, and then you find out that it's like a little drama between like the sister and this lady, and there's a monster involved, and there's like shit just becomes like
it
like a
becomes
soap
more and
op-
more epic.
yeah, it becomes like this complicated soap opera. It's not cheesy in any way, like that. But the idea that someone tries to kill their like sibling because they love someone, and like shit like that, but with monsters, and it's super serious as well.
And this is just a little side
And
mission,
this is a side mission. You're just supposed to find like a lost person.
but it just becomes more
Yeah.
and more and more. Yeah, that's something that I love too.
Yeah.
Again, I've only played like, I don't know, not at all, maybe 50 hours,
Yeah.
let's say. So and for me, it's been mostly just walking around trying to explore
Dude,
the
that's what
land.
I do.
You know, because
That's-
it's a huge world and it's awesome.
Yeah, in the beginning, also, you're not that strong.
No, so you
that
die all
shit
the fucking
gets.
time.
Yeah. You can't go everywhere because
No.
you're not strong enough.
Exactly.
Like, I was fighting this, like, the monster, and I could just kill with one blow.
That-
But
yeah.
I couldn't back then, you know. My sword wasn't even, like, making a dent.
Yeah.
It was, like, one damage. One damage. I was like, what do you mean? I was like, he has, like, 1,500
Yeah,
points.
So cool.
So yeah, and the cool thing about this game is like, once I saved a guy, he was almost being eaten by some people. Some dudes left him by the shore, tied up, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna save this guy. I save him. Later on, like several hours, like 10, 15 hours later, I meet this fucking guy. He's a fucking robber. They're like torturing some dude or something.
Oh shit.
And he's like, yeah, join us, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, fuck that. And I cut off his head. But why the fuck did I save this cunt? You know, like...
He just
And-
wreaked havoc.
Yeah. So you just like, everything you do in this game has like some type of consequence.
That's so cool.
And all these like bullshit little side missions, like you save this guy. And then eventually, like 20 hours later, you stumble upon his, like, oh, you saved my father, you know, like blah, blah, blah. And something happens and they reward you for it or they hate you for it.
You don't know.
You don't know. Yeah.
That's the beauty of it.
That is the coolest shit ever. Like, oh, you helped our son. Now he's a monster, you know. It's just like cool shit like that. And you can play the game several times and get different results, you know.
Yeah. I know my dad loved it too.
Oh, he played it too?
Yeah.
That's pretty
I
sweet.
mean, he plays more games than I do. I know I've said it multiple times. I know we've talked about the game before too, but not in depth.
No.
But yeah, so he definitely loved it, and I got the game from him. And I also got like this extra thing with like the whole, because there's a card game in the game that's very popular, and I got that, like the actual physical card game. So I have that. Plus, it came with an expansion pack for the game as well.
Yeah.
So
I have that as well. Like the
what is it?
Blood and Wine.
Yeah, exactly.
And the Something Stone.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah.
no.
Oh, it was 2. That's right.
Yeah, it's 2 expansions, and they're super good.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, and that's where I am right now. I haven't played them. Like, I started one of them, whichever one that was, but it starts really good. I'm getting, like, a bit of Crossroad Demon supernatural vibes from it.
Oh, okay.
So that's pretty sweet. Like,
Oh,
that
nice.
guy seems awesome.
Sweet.
And I think the cool thing about The Witcher, like, some people are like, oh, he's so stiff. Like, the character.
Yeah.
But I kind of like him. And I really don't think that he's stiff. I think he has, like, he feels like a person that's not afraid to, like, be wrong.
Yeah.
Like, I've talked about that. Like, that's people that I like, are people that can be open about, you know,
Making mistakes.
and stuff. And I feel that he's that type of person, but he also grew up, you know, in different circumstances than the normal person.
Yeah.
And also he's a witcher, so people like spit on him. You know, like when you walk in a city, it's either like Master Witcher or like you filth, blah blah blah.
It's like being a
Or-
sketchbook hero.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Yeah.
people spit when he walks by and shit like that. And I think they've captured all that stuff so well, you know.
Yeah.
I really
That's
like
why
it.
it's going to be really interesting to see Cyberpunk, what they do.
Oh yeah, with that
if they
game.
can keep that sort of, I don't know, live to characters and
Maybe we
games.
should tell them what Cyberpunk is for those that don't know.
Yeah. So what is it? Cyberpunk 2077,
Yeah.
right? I keep thinking 99.
It's pretty
for some
much their
reason.
next game.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
huge.
And it's what do you call it? That
first person.
no, the type of era or like the
Oh yeah, so it's
Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's just like
it's
in the
very
name.
self-explanatory.
Yeah, shit.
So
I was like,
think Blade Runner ish, sort of.
but colorful, like Miami Blade Runner or like
Exactly.
something like that. I don't know. Like
Yeah, it's like a mix between Blade Runner and Vice City.
Yeah,
like,
exactly that.
GTA.
Like a lot of neon, cool cars, like Knight Rider cars,
yeah,
a la Future. I don't know.
and just like it feels like everything is going to be customizable for you. Like
yeah,
so
you
could
you'll make your character and
because you
everything.
are sort of an android or cyber dude or girl. Like,
Yeah.
you can put in prosthetic limbs and
eyes and everything.
and just upgrade every part of yourself.
Yeah.
Probably every part of yourself. Which, I don't know, it really looks amazing, but we do have that worry, like both of us.
Yeah, it's a first-person game.
And we're not really first-person gamers. It doesn't really come naturally to me.
No, I don't feel like they said it's for immersion, but for me, when I'm only a hand or a foot, it just feels like I'm a hand or a foot or a gun, and that doesn't always work for me.
Exactly, and you are limited in because you can only see straight forward, so you don't really see what's going on around you in the same way as if you're playing a third-person game. So that will immediately make it a lot harder or more difficult for me to play.
Same.
But I'm still getting it.
But it looks so good.
Yeah, exactly.
And Keanu Reeves.
Right. Like,
so
oh my God.
They even made him a character because he's that awesome.
Exactly. So it's Keanu Reeves with a robot arm already win.
Cool.
I am buying this game.
But they seem to like the way that you play this game is a lot like The Witcher as well, which is, I think, one of the major things that I love The Witcher is that there will be side stuff that you can do, but they will also have, like, if you do something that affects a gang, that gang will want to pay you back. Like, the way you move around in this world will have consequences.
Exactly.
And that's just like, it's not just the main mission that will affect this. It's the side missions you choose to do as well. So you help this gang, then that gang gets upset or something like that,
Yeah.
That's what they've said, at least. And you will be able to customize your character, like male or female, and like whatever else you want to do to them. You will be able to do. And from what I've seen so far, it looks pretty fucking good.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
There are gameplay videos out there, like from the conferences.
Yeah, and you have the reveal of Keanu Reeves, which was...
Yeah, that was unexpected.
It was so awesome. I've told a lot of people this, and I'm not afraid to tell people, but I started crying out of awesomeness when he...
Dork!
Yeah, it was just because, or at least the video I saw was, like, you see the whole trailer, which I think is... I thought it was the 40-minute gameplay thing, but I think it was. I think it was just the new trailer that they released for E3.
I think it's a shorter one.
And it ends with the reveal of Keanu Reeves sort of in the game, and then he walks out on stage, and he's hired in to talk about the game. But the reception of him, and just like, it was so unexpected to see him in the game, and then he walks out on stage. It was just like a little bit too overwhelming.
PR.
It was so perfectly done that I just went nuts and started fucking crying because awesome. So that alone just sold me. Like, just take my money.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Like, I have really high hopes for the game, but I'm also just, wanting to see what it's like. Even if it sucks, I still want to just walk around in the world and see.
Yeah.
I
don't think it's gonna suck though, because
definitely
CD
not.
Projekt Red
they know
has
their
come
shit.
far. When it comes to storytelling,
except when they try to hire me as a fucking greeting card illustrator.
Thing. Yeah, I had friends also that tried working with them and it didn't go well. I don't know why, but
I feel proud that I said no.
Yeah.
Like, that's one of the few times I've actually said no to a job, and especially when it was that high up, I guess, or like with somebody that's as awesome as them. Sorry, derailing.
No
but
CD Projekt Red.
CD Projekt Red, yeah. So they are the company making these awesome games.
Yeah.
Fuck it, I don't know what we were talking about anymore.
No, but it's just the game. Like, for me, the only thing that could break it for me is the first-person shooter thing, because it feels like it's going to be a lot about the shooting as well.
Probably, yeah.
And I would have loved it to be more like The Witcher. Like The Witcher, you don't have to fight everything, and I think it's a lot of riding with your horse, talking to people.
But the combat system in that game is very easy to use, and it looks good. Really cool fighting moves, and you have these spells and all of these really cool things.
Yeah.
Like, it's made so easily.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, intuitive. I mean, like you just
It is
get into it.
It is a bit overwhelming, I guess.
Yeah, in the
like,
beginning.
In the beginning.
Yeah,
But you don't
get
have
into
to
it.
use everything. Like
Exactly.
it took
I never
me
like.
a long while before I started using potions, except for
Exactly.
life.
Yeah,
like
same.
I only used like the vitality potions, like to get life.
Yeah, same.
But then I didn't do any of the other stuff. I started doing that later.
Yeah.
You know, like I started playing the game, and there is this card game that Robert talked about in the game called Gwent.
There you go. I couldn't remember what.
And the game, I was not interested. Like I hate those mini games.
I tried it. It was.
But there is a mission eventually where you go into this gambling house and you don't have to win,
But you have to play.
You have to play, or I don't remember. Like you could do. I don't remember if you could do the mission without winning, but that's beside the point because I play that fucking game, and the guy that won that I was playing, like you noticed that this character they made a douchebag.
Yeah.
But he won, and then he taunted me, and it upset me in real life. So obsessive Ilias said, "I'm gonna learn everything about Gwent,
There you go.
and
There
I'm
he
gonna
is.
crush you all." So I go back to the beginning of the game with my character, and I start playing Gwent with the idiots, you know, like the simple characters.
Mm-hmm.
I go to every spot that I've remembered there is a Gwent card. I go to every spot that doesn't have a Gwent card, and I find the Gwent card. I do everything to get all the cards everywhere without cheating or anything. I just travel around my map. I was like, I've been there.
And
I
this
go
is
to
Ilias who never has time to do anything.
and I don't have time to do shit. Therefore, 500 hours. So I'm just like, okay, this part of the map, I'm gonna go to these places. I travel to all of them. I walk if I have to. I travel. I quick travel. I do all of it. I get all the cards. I beat everyone. I go back to that motherfucker. This is like weeks later, and I kick his ass so easily. I was like, yeah, motherfucker. Revenge.
There you go, bitch. Gwent.
Fucking NPC.
Yeah. Douchebag.
Don't tell me what to do, computer. Yeah, so I kicked his ass, and I won everything in that den hall, like gambling hall, whatever the fuck.
Was it gratifying?
It was.
Yes.
Because I won so many times, I was just like, fuck you.
You're like, I am done with this game now.
I
I can die now.
I can die. Yeah, had I died at that moment, it would have been fine. But yeah, I just like, but the game is so good. It has a lot of these like hidden little gems everywhere. It might be vampires, you know, it might be like crazy other shit. But there are so many things to discover, and you're never done. So there was like this deity that everyone was like offering shit to, and there's this like little deeper thing, and there's like, oh, it's so good. Like, I don't want to tell you any of this because it'll just ruin it when you get there. But there's like monsters and people trying to make a buck, you know, and then just like everyone's just like, there is just some rotten fucking people in this game because it's so like medieval-ish, and it has like old tunnels, and you know, like you can find old elven portals, and there are so many different.
But that's the
things
thing
that you
about
can
the game, that
discover.
you have to start exploring like
Yeah.
that. You can't play the game without actually moving around and looking at almost everything.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's probably going to be a boring as fuck game.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know? So you have to be like ready to put that time and effort in.
Yeah.
And I'm really just telling myself this.
Yeah,
so,
I get it.
so I know what to start doing. Like,
Mm-hmm.
but I also have like way too many games that I have to play now. So, like I haven't even taken the plastic off God of War 2 yet.
Oh,
so.
I have God of War as well, but I haven't played it.
Yeah.
Not God of War 2 though. It's God of War 3, right?
Is it?
Or 4. The
Oh
new
yeah,
one, the new
that's
one.
the new one. Yeah,
The new
exactly.
one,
Sorry.
whatever the
Yeah,
fuck
that's
it's-
right.
I played a little. It's cool, but I so enjoyed The Witcher more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Like, for me, The Witcher is like one of the best fucking games.
But it was the best fucking game. Like it
that
was awarded
one and
best game.
Red Dead Redemption are like, wow.
Yeah. And I've only
And Horizon Zero Dawn as well. Like
Horizon Zero Dawn is one that I've actually played almost to the very end.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the last game I played before I left for Australia.
Okay.
And
yeah,
then
yeah.
I got all the other games sort of when I came back.
Mhm.
But yeah, so I started playing The Witcher, and then I switched to Horizon because I was so curious about that game, and it looked so good, and then it was, and it was so fun to play. And
but that game was seamless. Like the controls were so easy. I remember being like chased by like a T-Rex, and you're just running like switching arrow, like making arrows as you run, and then you like knee slide and turn around and then fall off a cliff. Beside the point, but
but all of that was just like you knew how to do it, like, or you know how to do it.
It was so simple. I was like, I never died because my controls weren't
you weren't like off in any way or didn't know what to do, kind of. Yeah,
it was so good. Like they made it so that you could be running for your life. Like you felt the panic in real life, but you were able to play and like strategize while you were running, like off the wall, or like doing a roll. You know, when like this big fucking saber-toothed robot tiger jumped towards you.
The design of the fucking creatures are awesome.
Like the first time I used a trap to catch one, you know,
so cool,
so badass.
Yeah,
like it felt so.
It's like, it works.
Because you have basic weapons, like they're shit. And then you have like, you find this one trap that you can use like once or twice.
Yeah.
And it's like an electrical spring trap, and you put it between two rocks, and you trick this thing to chase you, and it just like gets caught. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have like some
and then you
time
can like reprogram it or whatever you're gonna do.
I couldn't at that time.
No.
But later, yeah.
But that's also such a cool extra thing to do. I mean, for me, like I even loved just climbing those gigantic beasts that are just walking around, you know. But just climb up on those and stand there and look at the world.
Yeah.
Again, we talk about like all the inspiration you can get from video games and take like screenshots or whatever when you're standing on. Like that game is what I think of whenever we say that, because every little frame in every angle is beautiful. Like the world they managed to create is insane. Like every piece of grass looks like the real thing, and it moves perfectly. Really
and then the sun hitting it, and you get that like the lens flare thing.
Exactly,
but good.
It's natural. Like you actually, like I told you this before when we were talking that like when the wind blows in the game, you can almost sort of feel it because it looks so.
You recognize the feeling. Yeah.
It's
and that's what I love. The only thing that game sort of was missing, I think, compared to The Witcher, was the side stuff.
Yeah.
Like the side stuff was so boring. It was like, get me wood.
Exactly.
Or get me 4 canisters, you know, like in The Witcher.
Or explore this cave and find this one thing.
This one thing, exactly. And it was just like fetch me shit. Where in The Witcher, it's like, please find my you know, whatever.
Yeah.
And then you go there and you start searching, and it's like this
something
big
totally
mystery. Yeah. Like it's like someone's husband turns into a werewolf. It's like a goblin kidnapped your stuff. There's this like big dragon rooster that, you know, he's terrorizing this village. And it's just like
so cool.
I thought I was just, you know, like bringing back your dog, and then it turns into this super complicated thing of a ghost that died a bazillion years ago, and you have to exorcise them, you know, or just like insane like this. And these things that I'm saying, I'm making it simple.
Yeah.
But sometimes they're so like nested in a mystery. And then you just like, you discover the thing and you're like, oh, I know what this is. And then you go there and it's not what you think it is.
Yeah.
And it's
insane.
In,
in Zero Dawn, it is like, I expect this and that's what happens.
But the main story, though, is awesome.
Yeah.
But the side, it doesn't have any side things. Like you can get like
you just collect things and try to find and piece together so that
I tried reading the stories, but they're so dryly written, the side stuff. I didn't even, and the text was super small.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little bit dyslexic anyway, so whenever there's stuff to read in games, I never do. Like,
oh shit!
Yeah,
not even main story stuff.
Yeah, main story stuff that you have to, of course, but like when you find letters or stuff like that, I never.
I did in the beginning, and then like halfway through, because it was really cool to read about what happened to the world, but it was presented in such a dry way.
Oh, okay.
It's like the military forces of the southern enemy have moved out to the battlefield.
Like, just get to the point. Fuck.
It was more fun to find the personal letters.
that
were read out.
Exactly. Yeah, I love those, like the little hologram things.
Exactly, because then you got to sort of like get a glimpse of the people in that moment.
Exactly.
There was this guy with the horror movies.
Oh yeah.
He was like given to.
Yeah. That's right.
They were gonna like take the most important things of that time and then document them and like harvest them, like like save them somewhere, like on a computer.
Yeah.
Or like for the next generation
Exactly.
of people that were gonna come to this world, which is the world that they live in now.
Yeah.
And this guy was just like, he wanted to categorize like tons of scary movies and shit. And
Fuck, I
it's
totally
so
forgotten
much
about
fun.
that.
Yeah, and it's so much fun to see those little glimpses. Then there was like these people that were sort of like, oh, we've been poisoned. And then some people didn't drink the poison. And it was just like, like, or someone was dying, and like the people were like, "Oh, what have I done?" Like just like those glimpses, the panic before the world is about to end, or whatever the fuck it was. I don't remember
that
now.
felt real.
But it felt real, right?
Yeah, it was heavy. I remember.
And you got to see like shallow holograms of them like walking around and doing shit.
And that was really cool, because that's what you sort of want to know all the time is like what the fuck happened to Earth? Like what happened? How did it become this? Why did they, like, how did the machines become the way they are? Like all of that, you just want to know, right?
That is the best
so
about
dope,
that game.
So dope. No spoilers.
No. But I love that. Like that whole thing. Like, how did the machines? Why are the machines there at all?
Exactly. What's the
And
purpose of them? Like they are machines. They're not like actually eating things, are they?
Yeah.
Like they can't be. All of that stuff. Yeah.
And
play the
also, I love how they're sort of like they're tribes.
Yeah.
There's just tribes
Exactly.
everywhere. Like civilization started over. It feels like.
Yeah.
And everyone's just like there's these like.
They
prehistoric
rebooted humanity.
Exactly. And now there's these prehistoric dinosaurs that are robots.
Yeah.
And people have this like tribal, I don't know if you can call it religions, but they believe in like weird shit.
Yeah.
And it's super cool to see. And the different tribes have, like different beliefs and different stuff. And they have these like, oh, this is the outpost of this village, and we protect the inner village from, robots and attacks, and the robots are getting more angry or whatever you want to call them, or like hostile, aggressive, yeah. And it's super cool, and you just explore like that main exploration thing, like the main story stuff. Brilliant.
Yeah. So cool. But speaking of The Witcher, any hopes for the new Netflix show?
It looks good. The only weird thing is
Cavill?
Yeah, Cavill.
Superman.
And the thing is, he's even more buff. And don't get me wrong, I love buff. I love anyone that's buff. With the right attitude, I guess. But I just mean, like, I appreciate people that work out, because I do a lot.
Yeah.
Like a crazy person.
But he's
so jacked in this one. Like, he's more jacked than he was when he was Superman.
Exactly. And that doesn't make, like,
it doesn't make
Gerald
sense.
is more...
He's a little more
slim, or like...
slender. He's
like he's athletic. You know?
Exactly.
Because he needs to be limber and smooth and, fast.
Yeah.
Not bulky and just strong.
Yeah.
Which he
is.
is.
So that is throwing me off a little.
Same.
But I like Cavill as an actor.
Yeah, same.
And I think the thing that speaks the most for him playing The Witcher is that he's played The Witcher. He's read the books. He's such a nerd, and he said, I need to play this.
Yeah.
And he was such
he
a
just forced
adamant.
him.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, so maybe he'll do like a type of, I don't know, Heath Ledger Joker out of this. Like maybe just make.
You mean die?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then someone else gets to play. No, just kidding. No, but I'm just saying, like,
Sorry,
maybe
Henry.
he'll do it justice.
Yeah.
Like, maybe he's too buff and beautiful,
but
maybe
it might be worth
maybe
it.
It works. Yeah.
Yeah. No, so I haven't read or don't really know much about the books, but apparently this is based off of one of the better sort of novelizations.
I started reading the books, and I think the guy that wrote them, I don't think he's, or maybe he is Polish. Maybe they are written in Polish.
I don't know.
Because CD Projekt Red is, I thought he was Russian, but I don't remember the name of the guy that wrote it.
Yep. Same.
And
I don't think I
the
ever
thing
knew.
was that I read the books, but the weird thing about the translated books from either Russian or Polish is that they translate them so they sound broken.
Oh, okay.
And that bothers me so much because when I read fantasy written in English, it has this nice sort of like way of talking and like it feels seamless. It's like I believe the way they talk. But when I read these translated Polish because I've read some Russian books that were, or I think they're Russian. It's the Metro series, like Metro 2033 or whatever the fuck they're called. Yeah, I don't remember exactly what they were called.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is, I think that writer is Russian at least.
Yeah.
And the books, in some sense, they work because it feels like they're sort of, like Russians living in the sewers or the railway under their tracks. They're like under the ground. And it works sort of, but it also makes it harder to read for some reason. It's like reading broken English. I don't know.
That's weird. Like,
it's so weird. Yeah.
If you're translating it, why wouldn't you just
translate it as it's sort of written,
Yeah.
Like in Spanish when it's like reversed, the way you say things.
Yeah, you
Like
wouldn't write it that way.
You wouldn't write it that way, but feels like they do write it that way in these books.
Okay.
So it becomes this weird thing, and for me, it just doesn't work. Like I want it to work, but I just can't get through it.
But maybe that's a good, that might be a good thing to, why they're actually doing the show. Like the show could be a saving grace for the books almost. So if the book feels like the language is broken, you just make a really awesome TV show instead.
And I think you couldn't make a Witcher movie.
No, it's too big.
But making a Witcher show could really show off some depth to the character.
Because every mission does have all of those side missions, sort of. So that would be an interesting way to go. So you have the linear story, but then just doing these side quests in between, almost like Supernatural. I guess.
I hope they go with that.
Yeah.
In this,
and then maybe
the monster of the week sort of thing, where he kills like a monster, like helps a village or something.
Exactly.
Rather than like he's gonna overthrow the government,
Yeah, like Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I don't want that. I want the smaller sort of. There should be like an overarching story.
Of course,
I guess,
it has to be.
But I kind of would love it to go like the early days of Supernatural.
Yeah, exactly.
Where they just chase down these like. They're not major monsters, but for them,
exactly,
they are.
And they're just starting out. They're learning how to work together and become more awesome. And
I would love to get some of that in this story. And then, while doing that, he also, gets in trouble with other stuff. But
women.
That's what I got from the trailer.
Yeah, definitely.
But I really hope that it's good because I never want anything awesome to suck.
Of course,
that's the thing.
Of course.
And I hope they don't DC this shit.
No.
So, but even DC has done okay on their the
series. Yeah, I think so too.
I still.
That's where the dark DC thing works.
It works, right?
Because Marvel's shows aren't they're good, but they're still Marvel, so they're maybe a little bit too cutesy sometimes. Whereas like the DC ones, they're not afraid to go bloody or brutal. Yeah. And I would have wanted to see more of that in the Marvel universe. Like Punisher is the only one that actually sort of goes there. Yeah. But it did in the earlier episodes, and then it got Disneyfied a bit.
Yeah. Did you ever watch Jessica Jones?
Yep, I loved it.
I loved the first season.
Yeah, same.
But then in the second season,
Disneyfied.
What I hate about that one is that they reset her.
Exactly.
Like everything that she builds up as a character
in the first season,
they reset.
Yeah.
The first episode.
Exactly.
They just take it then I can just rewatch the first episode.
Yeah.
Like if you want to reset her as a character, because she does develops. Yeah. She becomes more, Jessica Jones.
I couldn't finish the second season.
I couldn't either. I watched it 3-4 episodes.
Same.
I was like, I'm
exactly.
out.
I don't even remember it, to be honest.
I don't remember either. I just remember that she just starts ruining it again. Let's just conveniently go back to square one. Yeah. And that feels for me just like you're just selling me season 1 again. Yeah. And I don't want that. That is boring.
Exactly.
I had this frustration as a kid watching Donald Duck as well. Where he does good shit and then they slapstick him back to the beginning, sort of. And it bothered me even back as a kid, like when it was shows about characters that all the time ruined it. Like they were starting to get somewhere, and then
It just
laziness,
got
you just,
dumbified.
you dumbify it. I don't remember if it was just Donald Duck, but I saw it as a thing in many shows. Like, shit, now he's gonna become awesome. Then they
sort
just
of Thundercats. Like I think
I
that's
don't remember if Thundercakes had that.
no, but it's like you have him and he's Lionel is he's kind of, I guess, retarded is the best word. Like he's a bit behind.
But he's a kid. He's like
his brain got
he's a small
it
kid.
stopped when he was like 10, 12, 13, something like that.
He just like he
and
was
then
12
his body
or something.
kept growing.
Yeah, the body
because he was
grew,
in frozen or like
stasis.
Stasis. Yeah, they were traveling in space. So he's a little bit behind.
Yeah, he's a 12-year-old kid in a 35-year-old man's body or something like that.
But then he's
in a bathing suit.
And then he's done something really awesome in this episode, and you can feel like he's growing. And then towards the end, they have to sort of make a joke thing and make.
Oh, but that was every time.
Of
They
course.
were always going to teach you something.
Yeah.
Like, it's when Wily Cat and Kid are blah blah blahing
And
the
it
blah
just,
blah blah.
Yeah, that always,
Yeah.
not always, but a lot of the time just made you go like, what the fuck?
But
Like,
they did that
oh,
with
man.
everything, like even G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
It's like, remember, kids, it's really important to tell your parents if you're going to walk off into the forest with a stranger and the blah, 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 blah. And they're like, ha, 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 ha. And a freeze frame. Yeah. And then it was just like a freeze frame, everyone laughing, throwing their hats like, ha.
That's why I love
bullshit.
Batman, the animated series. Because there wasn't really a message in that way.
No.
It was just a really awesome
But that
episode.
came later. That was like 90s cartoon.
Yeah. But
that Batman
that
show
changed
was
everything.
Really good.
It changed. Like, I still watch it today, and it's still really, really, really good.
I don't know if we ever talked about this on the podcast, but do you know Harley Quinn's first appearance?
Yeah, Batman the animated series.
Exactly.
Yes.
And
she was created, like Bruce Timm created her for that show.
Yeah.
And she was just going to be a side character in this one episode. And
everyone loved it.
yeah.
Yeah.
It took forever for her to get her own comic book. But she became legit.
But on Twitter, someone, this girl, I don't remember specifically if this was like before the podcast or while we were on a break, but this girl was cosplaying her or like in somehow mentioning this character. Mm-hmm. And then this one guy was like, oh, you fucking poser or something, blah, blah, to this girl. Like, you haven't even read the comics. And, and the fan just fucking bombarded this guy. Like, listen here, fucktard. She was created in the animated series. Blah, 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 blah. Because she said that, she loves Harley Quinn, blah, blah, somehow. From
Connected to
the show.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, you fucking pose, blah, 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 blah. You haven't even read the comic. Like, well, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
do your
apparently,
research.
Yeah, exactly. Apparently, you don't have a clue, dude.
Yeah.
And Twitter just fucking, like, I think if his asshole was tight, by the end of that, it was like a fucking
black hole.
Yeah. Everything could pass through that shit. Like, it was, I loved how everyone, like, it's, oh man, the internet has.
Gotta love the geeks. Oh man.
Everyone, I was just like scrolling through it. I was just like, this is gold. This is gold.
I totally missed that.
It's really good. But I love,
awesome.
And I think we've talked about this before, but I love how Kevin Smith just doesn't do that.
Yeah.
He just, why are you so angry, man? Like that.
He's always so
He's
fucking
always
nice.
so like,
Yeah.
and
Nice
he's such an awesome dude. And that's why I told you to listen to the podcast because
it was good.
He's really doing what he wants to do and doesn't let. I think the way that he started off is the way that he sort of like kept doing things.
Yeah, his own way.
Yeah. And did you hear about how they are promoting his the Clerks?
Yeah, yeah.
Not Clerks. Jay and Silent Bob
The reboot.
2, the reboot
Yeah,
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is an amazing way because the thing is they spent like I think a total of 10 million or something.
Mm.
They got 8 million and then they had to make up another 2 or somehow.
Yeah,
Like,
there's always some extra people like
yeah.
sort of chipping in to make it
Yeah, and then
work. Yeah.
they don't have money to promote it. They don't have money to like do anything more with it, like get it up on big cinemas or anything.
No.
So what they're doing is they made it like a road show. So Kevin Smith and what's his
Jason
name?
Mewes.
Jason Mewes. Yeah, they travel around like the U.S.
And they're coming to Europe as well.
They are.
They're coming
That is awesome.
to London, I know,
Oh,
and
bag
then
of dicks.
probably
Yeah.
some other places around.
But the cool shit is that they're just traveling around and just promoting the movie. So it's like a little stand-up thing.
But they're watching
And
the
they're
movie with you,
with you,
and
yeah.
then they're doing a Q&A,
A Q&A
kind of stand-up-y thing.
Yeah,
after.
it's like a show afterwards with a
exactly.
Q&A involved, and
And
it's so much fun.
Yeah, it's such a cool new way to do it,
Mhm.
and I think it's probably going to change the way people are promoting and doing
Yeah.
movies from now on. Like,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it sounds like it's doing
And it's
perfectly
doing super
well.
well. I think he said that he had like fans come in and like a Kickstarter type of thing,
Mm-hmm.
but with a return investment deal. So like, okay, because they're making money off the people coming to see the show,
Exactly.
which is the movie and the Q&A thing that they've made. And if you're a Kevin Smith fan, you know how awesome he is. And if you've listened to anything he's done, he's fun to listen to. He's like
Exactly.
an awesome dude.
He's like
So-
us.
But famous. And but I just love the way that he's doing this because Hollywood can't touch him.
No.
He's just promoting the movie to the people that love his shit. So if he was coming here, I would totally pay, like 1,000 crowns, which is like
Easy.
$120
Yeah.
to
Easy,
go
easy.
watch it, because I want to support other creators, but it's also just such a fucking awesome way of doing something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Like, instead of paying, like Hollywood to
Yeah.
ruin you, the thing that you love doing.
Exactly. And that's what he said. Normally, it costs just about as much as it does to make the
Yeah,
movie,
yeah,
to
yeah.
promote the movie, or like
Promote,
to do all the I was going to say merchandise. What's it called?
No, but
Marketing.
marketing
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah.
So
Marketing, that's
yeah,
cool.
so
Yeah.
this is just, again, like, this is a guy who he does what he does, and now he makes that work in his favor.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's gonna like revolutionize everything.
I hope so, because they're doing apparently really well, and they hit like some type of record with the way that they're doing things.
Yeah,
So
they,
I'm just so stoked that you can do that. I think that is what people should be doing.
Exactly.
Like, don't fucking get into this like trench of you're trying to sell shit to Hollywood. Like, if you can and you sell your thing and you don't want to,
Then fuck
like,
yeah.
yeah,
Go.
then fucking do it.
yeah.
But I also love the idea that you can create something and then you don't want anyone to like come in with their awesome input and Hollywoodify.
Hollywoodify?
Yeah. Hollywoodify, yeah. Like, just ruin it, basically.
Exactly.
Because I think that was my biggest problem with Endgame as well.
Yeah.
That's
It
something
is.
we shouldn't have talked about. Because it's like Captain America with the one tier and shit like that. That ruins everything for me. Like, it ruined, like, major deaths. It ruined, like, the seriousness of the movie, because you make, like, crime
You
should just
cheapen
be
it.
ugly and cheap. Like, you
Yeah.
shouldn't. But instead, it's like Captain America looking super, like, I don't know.
Yeah, and then just
buff,
the
and
one
then
little-
one little tear. It could have just basically just slapped an American flag behind him,
Mm-hmm.
and nothing against the U.S. in that way, but it just felt like America. We cry one tear. Fuck yeah! He could have just like shot a gun in the air, American flag and one tear. Like, it's just garbage. Like, that whole scene is garbage for me. Like, like it's like Sweden. Like, he puts on a like a folks.
Yeah,
Like one of those like folksy
folk
dresses,
dresses, yeah.
and dances around. Like, that would be equally bad. I'm just saying,
But with a
that,
tear.
But with a
Slowly
tear, one
dripping
tear
down.
is super
And he's
important.
jumping around like a frog.
Like, if someone cried one tear like that, I would have just said like, "Oh, the wind is blowing a lot from that
Yeah,
side." Like,
exactly.
you wouldn't like, "Oh, he's so emotional."
Like, I can look past it because the movies are extremely awesome.
Except the last one. But
No, I loved it.
No,
I loved
no,
it.
You don't. No,
Yeah,
you don't.
yeah,
No, you don't.
yeah.
No. This is.
This is-
Check it
yeah.
out. No. You can have a lot of opinions, Robert, but you can't have this one. No, but
No, I totally get it. I do, and I saw those two, and it's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like, come on. But again, like, it's so amazing what they managed to pull off. What is it, 22 movies,
yeah.
and tying it up pretty much
I
like
didn't
you
like
don't really you didn't leave a lot of loose ends, and
And I wish
the
they
ones,
had because it was shit.
but the ones they did leave, they're
Yeah.
making shows out of. And
Yeah, they
it'll
are.
be interesting to see what happens.
There's
But
so many things though.
so many things.
So many things that bothered me. Though.
Yeah, but that
Come on.
everything bothers you.
No, just the things. that
You
they
are the
did in
pickiest
this
dude ever.
Dude, I love the previous one, and in this one, they just repeated jokes that weren't funny. Like they tried to recreate the whole Thor rabbit thing,
Yeah.
and it was shit. Like it was so forced.
I liked it.
And then you had the Fat Thor, which could have been good,
I love
but
it.
then they kept doing the same joke over and over. Like first at his house,
Lebowski.
then in the exactly that. That was the first thing. That was fun. But then they did it again at the meeting, and then they did it again when he was like back in Asgard.
Mhm.
Like they kept like just dragging the joke out
Yeah.
instead of just doing it the one time.
Yeah,
And it would have
then
been
just
fucking
left it.
awesome.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree with that.
And I'm happy that they like I
They
don't
went
know
that way?
I like that. Yeah, once they decided to go with Fat Thor, that they stuck with it. That he didn't just like, okay, I'm just gonna suck it in, and then now it's in my bicep.
Exactly. Do like a I don't know, lightning flash thing, and then it's ripped
exactly,
again.
exactly.
Which
So I'm
everybody
super happy.
expected,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think.
but I'm super happy that they didn't.
No. Yeah.
Also, the Hulk thing. I wanted more Hulk. Because
Yeah.
I felt that they were doing this same joke with him as well.
Yeah.
Like, I really love the first time coffee shop scene
yeah,
thing.
with the selfie.
Yeah,
I love
and
that.
also that was great. That was super good. But then it was just they kept doing that thing.
Hulk. No, what does he say?
Yeah, I don't
Go
remember.
green
But
or
yeah,
something.
it was so good. Like the first one, yeah.
It's dabbing.
But it was so good. But then they
Yeah.
keep doing that thing over and
Yeah.
over, and the Hulk is like so dumb at some point. Like it's just like, oh, okay. But I really loved when they see the old Hulk.
And he's like,
And-
oh man, and he's like embarrassed. looking at it.
Yeah,
He's like,
but
"Oh, I can't believe that.
But when
was-" when he's like, yeah,
when he's supposed to like reenact that, like just like get
smash.
the anger, and he's like, like not into it at all. Like he's more human now than he ever
yeah.
was. Yeah, and he just
so
doesn't
cool.
have that. Like he's too self conscious to like flip out,
no, exactly.
and he's just like dunk, move this thing.
Professor
so he's
Hulk,
like.
yeah. So
He's
dope.
still so strong. He just doesn't have the rage to go with it, so
Exactly.
that everything feels like a target. So
Yeah.
my main problem is that they drag everything out. Like they have these 3 jokes, and they just take
They
it
keep-
too far.
yeah.
Yeah, and they just keep doing it
Yeah.
to the point where I got sad. Like
Yeah,
I
okay.
was, it was just like because I want this movie to be good, but I don't know what they're going to do with it. And then the first like hour and a half, they're trying to build up the sadness,
Yeah.
and it kind of works, but then it just starts getting like there's so many pointless scenes. Like, oh, I'm gonna sit with this random group of strangers and turn some chairs and like look sad, and they already had all the sad scenes they needed. You didn't need that scene. Just the opening of that movie is horrible.
Oh my god. Yeah, that is.
What the fuck was that?
So dark.
You don't do that.
But that's so cool, and that's
But that-
why it's gonna be awesome to see the Hawkeye show,
Yeah.
because you're gonna get to see what he did during those 5
During
years.
those 5 years, yeah, that might be. I
Like-
don't know if I want that though.
But it's such a cool character. Fuck, I forgot what his new name was.
Oh, Ronan.
Ronin. Thank you.
Yep.
Exactly. So
I don't
like
know.
how he becomes Ronin and what
Okay.
sort of what his new mission is.
Mm-hmm.
Like he lost everything and now
Yeah.
he's just like, I'm just gonna fucking kill gangsters because I've got nothing.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. I want to see the path that he goes down because he's
If
always
they
been.
can tell that like more in a drama rather than a
I'm hoping that's the way
slasher
they're gonna
thing.
go because he is a really good emotional actor. Like he can,
Oh, he's playing it?
yeah,
Oh shit.
of course.
Okay.
So it's
But
gonna
it's
be
a TV show or movie?
TV show. So it's gonna be him and
Whatever his face is now. Oh shit, what is his name?
Oh no! It's just a Hawkeye thing, and then it's
Yeah.
gonna be the Falcon, Winter Soldier. That's another
Mm-hmm.
show, and then Scarlet Witch and Vision. It's another thing. So like all of these sort of side
Yeah, okay,
things,
yeah.
kind of like The Witcher.
But
I
that
guess,
was my
like,
problem
just to
as well.
Enrich the world more. But it's going to be oversaturated with all this stuff, so we're probably gonna get sick of it.
Yeah,
I think.
I think so too. And big spoiler alert here. So just fucking pause if you haven't seen Endgame. But I didn't like the Captain America ending because I saw it coming
Oh yeah.
so far away. Like when they started counting, because they were going to send Captain America back, and the Hulk was going to count to 5, and he would have been back, and he would have been gone like a certain amount of time. And I was like, he's not coming back. He's going to this girl, and they're going to live happily ever after. And then they have this like old man on the bench. I was like, oh, Captain America coming back. But he's older, because instantly when I just saw them like see him on the far end there, I was like, okay, Captain America's back, but he's like old. And he was. And then they have this like long talk, and he hands over the thing. And I was like, okay, this could have been done in another way. Yeah. He could have just like given it before he went, and then he disappears and never comes back. And you understand it.
Yeah.
You understand.
Leave it open.
Yeah, leave it open. Just like you understand what happened. You like, I totally get that. Oh, it's so cool if he just comes back when he's old. But it's just like it's over explaining. It's like the Matrix 3 syndrome now.
I get that too, but you kind of, or for me, it was just proper fan service. Because
I know, but
you want to see that he actually gets a happy ending.
Yeah, but then again,
because he gets through,
but he gets
lost
three
everything.
Endings, but he gets 3 endings.
Yeah,
he gets the time machine. He gets to come back from the time machine as an old man.
Yeah,
and then the end scene.
Yeah, yeah,
with the cheesy dance, and would have been great if that was the only ending.
Yeah, but then you get.
But then you get that you got like it's like the Lord of the Rings.
It's like ending. But it's called Endgame, Ilias. That's the whole movie.
Yeah, but everyone gets one end game, not 3.
Yeah.
No, so it was like I don't like it when they think I'm stupid.
No.
Like I don't like to be over-explained. Like I get it.
But you have to realize there's a lot of really small kids watching these movies.
I don't care about the small kids. Fuck those kids.
So they need to cater for everybody.
Filthy kids with their stupid little brains.
Grow up.
Grow up, you little cunts. And that's why I'm not a parent right now. No.
Fuck it.
Nobody listens this far.
No, they don't.
And the one person that will is probably super offended.
Yeah. So wake up, dude. Sorry, you fell asleep listening to this podcast. It's time to go to bed.
Yeah, it's time to go to bed because we're hitting the 3-hour mark.
Bada bam.
And with that said, fuck that movie. Play The Witcher.
Play Horizon Zero Dawn.
Exactly. Play all the games.
Yeah. Watch the Cyberpunk 2099 gameplay.
Yeah, it's like 40 minutes plus.
And Keanu Reeves reveal.
If you haven't already.
Yeah. If you're having problems getting your penis to stand up.
Exactly. Clap your hands.
Dun, dun, dun.
If you have a problem, penis, something, clap your hands. I don't know. I'm tired.
Clap.
Clappy, clappity, clap.
Yeah. It's going to be working after you see the Keanu Reeves things. That's for sure.
Exactly. Buy it now.
Right. Yeah, we needed stuff in this podcast that I can cut out. Because otherwise,
what other stuff will you cut out? This was perfect.
It is.
I know.
Like, it always sounds like that after we've talked, or like when I'm sitting, I'm like, fuck, I don't think I'm gonna have to cut this that much. Like it sounds really like been very linear. We haven't said anything really offensive in a while.
Yes,
Cock, fuck, motherfuck, and so probably not gonna cut this too much.
You think so,
but then when you see it, like we just said, we're 3 hours. No, it's going to be 1.5.
Yeah. No, but I don't care. You can cut off the whole Endgame thing.
Yeah.
I don't care.
I don't care. Nobody cares.
You care.
Fuck it. Yeah,
you will care. You will care eventually, Robert.
I'm trying to tell myself not to care that much. Fuck it. I care.
So with that said, what do we have for like homework for next week?
So I actually know
this one.
I know
super
this
late though. We should have put this in the beginning.
But this is for the true believer out there.
Okay.
Like if you are a sketchbook hero, which we call you guys, we're not the heroes.
We are watching
that
skateboard movie.
No, we're watching
Thrasher.
The movie that I gave you as a birthday gift.
Oh shit! Okay, cool. Yeah, I need to watch that.
Exactly. That's why.
You know where I found it now?
No.
Behind the drawer where I have my video games because my kids.
Aha.
Fixed
Motherfucker. I'm pretty
Exactly.
sure they can watch it too. Like, there's a little bit of blood in it, but
dude,
it's...
we watched Pirates of the Caribbean. They literally shoot someone in the face. I was like,
all right.
what?
Okay, yeah, so...
I was like, thank
that's
you,
fine.
Disney. It starts with a Disney thing, and then just like, poof,
Nice.
headshot, motherfucker. Like, just kill that lady straight off. I was like,
Holy shit.
Kids.
What the... I don't remember that at all.
That's the third one.
Oh,
no,
okay,
but
that's why I
they
don't
no,
remember
they
it.
pluck out someone's heart. They stab someone in the heart. I was like,
Wow.
I don't remember all the stabbing.
Pirates, bro.
Yep.
Damn.
Indeed, pirates.
But yeah, all right. So we have this new thing that we want to try to like implement if we can, and we call it kind of homework. I
Kind of
guess
homework, yeah.
Sort of, kind of homework.
Sort of kind of homework.
Yeah.
That was the best episode ever. Don't remember what it was, but hey.
So the movie, I gave Ilias a movie for his birthday, and it's called Batman versus TMNT, or Teenage
Is it
Mutant-
versus?
Yep.
Oh, shit.
Or TMNT versus Batman, whatever.
Oh.
So it's pretty self-explanatory. It's a cartoon, but it's very grown-up-ish. Like, yeah, it's a really awesome story. Very, like, the animation is all right. It's sort of like a mix between the animated series, like Batman, the animated series, and the Turtles
Oh,
show.
shit. Cool.
Ish. And, yeah, so... Like, I don't want to say...
So two of our favorite things
Exactly, into one.
into one. Yeah, exactly. Because I think the first episode of Sketchbook Heroes was about Ninja Turtles as a retro. So
So, yeah.
full circle.
Full circle.
Then we should quit the podcast today, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, we're not doing more. Game over. This episode, at least.
Yes. Yeah, so the movie is called Batman versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
All right,
Ninja Turtles.
So
Yes.
if you have the opportunity to watch it, so you can follow on our next rant,
Then do it.
yeah, do it.
So I got this movie on YouTube, but you know I pay for movies on YouTube.
Yeah,
so
I know. They have like a renting service. It's
exactly.
pretty
You
sweet.
can rent or buy. So if you buy it, you're gonna have it on YouTube always, which is really cool because then you can always access it. Or you rent it and you have it for 2 days, which is also pretty cool. So if you're not doing the illegal shit, then that's, I think, one of the
The
easier
way to
ways
go?
to go, or like on Apple TV or anything.
Oh yeah, Apple.
It is available
Probably,
pretty much anywhere. If you're a geek like me, it's available on in the Sci-Fi bookstore here in Sweden. You can go and buy it on Blu-ray or DVD. And yeah, I really hope you guys do. And if you do, I think we're going to talk about it probably in 2 episodes because I'm pretty sure we're going to
Oh
release
shit! Yeah,
another one in between this one and that one.
yeah, that is true.
Yeah,
That is the truth.
that's why we're taking a 2-week homework thing. So you have 2 weeks to watch this movie. Then we're going to go in and slaughter it like nothing else.
And I probably won't have seen it. No, just kidding.
Probably.
I will.
Yeah.
I will try to see it because I want to see it because it's Turtles and
Yes.
it's Batman.
And it's only 1.5 hours. It's not like
Exactly.
a gigantic long movie.
I'll
No.
watch it with my kids. Is it super dark?
It's
Is the plot easy to understand for dumbs?
yeah, it's
Like
very
they're
easy.
fighting.
They're fighting.
Cool.
It's pretty much.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I'll watch it with my son.
Yeah.
He's 5.
He should. I think he's
I
gonna
don't
love
care,
it
dude.
because I mean it's. The
I
Turtles.
watched Gremlins with my daughter when she was 5. It's fine.
It's dark brooding Batman and it's happy fun turtles.
Oh shit! Really?
It's awesome.
Oh, they look so dark as well in the cover. On the cover.
Yeah, but they're still the turtles.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
you know,
Because yeah, I was.
it's not.
thinking-
It's not the original turtles.
No,
like
no. But
that.
but maybe
you know.
it's fun. Like my
Yeah.
son will probably love it.
I love it. I'm pretty sure you're gonna like it at least,
Yeah.
hopefully. Which will be the interesting thing to talk about. But yeah, let's do that.
Bada bang, bada bang.
Bada bing, bada bang, as he said. Up,
All
up.
right, 3 hours and skadoosh.
We haven't said that in a while.
Yeah,
Yeah, 3 hours and something.
and 5 minutes.
Nobody cares.
5 minutes Turkish.
Nice one. Yeah, it was 5 minutes, 10 minutes ago.
10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna go home and watch Watchmen.
Watch, man.
Episode 3
Ooh
just came
la
out this
la.
morning.
I'm gonna go sleep and then go up at 4 in the morning and work out.
Actually, I have to finish my my cover. So,
Oh, shit, yeah.
I have to get back to work.
Boo, 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 boo. Oh shit, yeah, I need to do my October. Motherfucker.
You did that. I did the cover, and
Yes,
then
yes, yes.
sleep.
Sleep.
Awesome.
All
Thank
right,
you,
for
everybody.
tuning in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Words.
Words. So
yeah.
all of that good stuff that we've said before a million
and also
times. Reach out and rate us and
sketchbookheroes.com,
rape us. and
rape, whatever.
rape us.
We're so tired.
Yes.
Thank you for tuning in again.
Have a good week, and we'll see you next week, or listen to us
the
next
weekend
week.
or before.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
There